Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so you guys have been traveling for a few days at sea with your getting the Jimi Hendrix all fixed up and ready to rock and roll. So who of you would be kind of going over routinely to the Jimi Hendrix? Who of you would be spending most of your time on the Jimmy Changa, and who would be spending more time on the Jimi Hendrix, helping them kind of get set up, trained up, etc., etc.?
I mean, I feel like as far as navigation and kind of cartography, that kind of thing, I would be helping one of the new gyms with that.
Okay. Okay, so we've got Perry on the new ship helping out Captain Jimmy and some of the other new gyms. Everybody else is staying on the Jimmy Changa.
I'd probably be on the Jimi Hendrix with him.
I would probably be helping the on the Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, one of you guys is like helping.
I feel like a Root said last session he was helping with like combat.
Yeah, training them up for combat. Okay, all right.
Are you sailing though currently?
Yes.
Then never mind. I'm on my ship.
You're on your ship.
Sailing.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. All right. So as you guys have been sailing and trying to train up these slaves and stuff like that, getting them better fed and in a better state of health and everything else like that, and also trying to train them up and teach them how to sail and everything else like that. Through that time, you've discovered that while most of them are pretty quiet and calm and chill, there is one among them that is quite the loudmouth. That has kind of it's a female wood elf, and her personality has really kind of blossomed since being freed. She's been the one who's kind of led the. You guys have noticed she has led the kind of anti-high elf sentiment, like the kind of fuck these guys sentiment, and has kind of rallied that among their ranks. Her name is Honora, and she Captain Jimmy has, as his first act as captain, has named her his first mate on aboard the Jimi Hendrix. Over the course of the few days that you guys have been sailing and getting to know these people better, Venkin, you actually have had a little bit of time to talk to Honora and find out that she is actually a druid as well.
Okay. Cool.
And comes from circle of moon druids among this civilization of wood elves that live in the direction that you guys are heading. And she has started, you guys have only had maybe one night of training and practice, but you guys have started out on the deck of the Jimi Hendrix at night under the light of the moon and begun practicing and training. And so it's going to take some time, like we discussed earlier, but you've begun your training into learning how to funnel your magic through the moon and that circle. So that's just kind of something that's been going on in the background. Is there anything that any of you guys would want to be doing besides the stuff that we've already mentioned in between now and your next port? Because I know you guys are only a couple of days away from what was it? Casolne, I think is how that town was pronounced. The next port that you guys are aiming for.
I know it's probably going to use everything, but feeding everybody.
Yeah, because you guys had about a month to feed less than 10 people, and now you guys have like almost 30 people.
Yeah.
And so you guys, it's cut it down by a third. So you guys basically have like 10 days. So you guys are beginning to run low on food.
Plus some captains, that was low to throw in a feast for these prisoners that we freed.
Yeah, so you guys have barely enough food to make it to this next port. So I figure you guys are kind of heading straight in that direction. Is that something you guys are going to be wanting to do as you guys are heading into this port? Is to do some fishing? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So you guys got a pretty good system for this going. Let's just go ahead and I'm sure using the same techniques.
Yeah.
Are you going to be trying to? Go ahead.
Before I cast my lightning bolt, I do kind of want to get into the water and swim around and see what kind of fish.
Absolutely.
I can
Go
see
ahead and
that.
roll investigation.
Do we have any bodies we can attract sharks with?
I don't know if you guys are sitting on
I
any
can play
bodies.
dead in
You
the
might.
water.
I mean,
there were elves and
there were a ton of
hobgoblins.
elves and hobgoblins, so it's entirely
Oh,
possible
yeah.
that you guys have chopped up and made a couple of chum buckets to keep around.
So, what'd you say was investigation?
Yeah.
13.
Just ate the goblin.
Okay, yeah. So you guys have left the
Bonus.
shining sea and have entered the great sea, and you know how like there are places on Earth where the oceans don't quite mix, and because of the two different kinds of water from these two different seas, and that's kind of what you guys are now dealing with now that you've moved from the shining sea and into the great sea. It's not quite as tropical anymore. And the water is not nearly as clear. It's a lot deeper in places. It's not as shallow as it was in many places in the Shining Sea, to where the clarity of the water was even more apparent. So this is a much deeper, more open. There's not as many like smaller ecosystems, like you know what I mean, that are kind of closer to the surface and stuff to provide massive amounts of food. So the ecosystems around here aren't quite as jam-packed and as full, but there are some larger creatures. While you don't see hardly any schools of smaller fish or anything. There are some sharks in the water, as well as there are a few whales that are in this area. You guys are entering an area that is potential breeding grounds for whales.
Okay.
And so there are, they're not like blue whales, they're not like the most massive whales on the planet or anything else like that. They're kind of maybe
They're like orcas.
Sure, you know what? Fuck it, yeah, they're like orcas.
Killer whales.
I don't have it on my
Yeah.
character sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, let's look at it.
Thanks for that, Eric.
I'm pretty sure my character can speak to fish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can, I can as well.
Can I try like a whale call?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll animal handling for me.
I feel like that warrants advantage since he's a fish.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, with advantage.
Okay, so where is it?
The second from the top, I think.
16, 17, 18?
18, yeah. So, yeah, you are able to, like, you guys just see Calico Jack tic-tac up onto, like, the bow of the ship. Well, he doesn't have, he can't pitter-pat, so, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, you see him tic-tac up into the bow of the ship and make this whale call, and you're like, what the fuck? But a few moments later, you see a few hundred yards away, you see a whale, and you kind of fucking, and Perry, you're in the water, and you hear the sound reverberate, and you hear like the whale calling back as it begins to kind of come in towards the ship.
If I see the whale coming, I'm getting the fuck out of the water.
Okay, yeah, so you
I'm
can make it back up on
Climb
the
back
ship.
up, yep, and when it gets close enough,
That's how she
I'm
gets you, man.
gonna blast him.
Okay, yeah, so
She just looks so
you guys are kind of you guys are like moving towards each other, so it doesn't take long
sweet. Everybody keeps
to
telling me that.
get into position. But once the whale's within range, yeah, you can go ahead and make your attack. So that's a dexterity saving throw from the whale, then, eh?
Yes.
That is going to be. I can't imagine the whale has very good dexterity.
Yeah,
I can pull up the stab.
Yeah, if you want to pull up the whale stat for me real quick,
Negative
he rolled a
one.
natural 16, so.
-1.
For the blue whale, killer whale, sperm whale. Let's do sperm whale.
You would.
-1 to dex.
-1 dex, so 15.
Yeah, I called it.
DC was 16. So.
Nice. Okay, so got lucky there. So yeah, you're able to fucking blast him. So go ahead and roll damage for that. I don't know what the health points on a fucking
189 hit points.
189 hit points. Yeah, so
Oh,
it's gonna take you a
oh,
couple
we got
hits.
it.
We're gonna
Alright,
have to.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I'm
a
gonna
miniature
rally
boss fight.
the crew.
Yeah.
Alright, so.
So yeah, the crew
that's
begins
what
to the crew actually the gyms aboard the Jimmy Changa immediately mount ballistas and load and mount ballistas and are prepared to fire the ballistas at the.
Alright,
No,
35.
I'm gonna do my call lightning as well.
Okay.
And that'll be another deck save. Do you want to use the same one or the last one?
35.
I'm gonna use a new one.
Okay.
Okay. That is a 3 on that second deck
Nice.
save after the first hit. So yeah.
Alright.
So that's actually makes it a 2 with that -1.
Okay. And that's gonna be like 5d10.
5d10.
So, hey Nick, while they're all fishing, I would like to be in wherever the fuck my room is on this ship. I'm
Okay.
assuming we have like quarters.
Yes.
And I'd like to be praying to Calypso.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's right. Based on what we talked about, yeah, you. I would say for the last few nights, you have been. That's what you've been doing. You've been spending your extra time, sending up prayers and making small offerings where you can to Calypso. So, what was that damage?
18.
18 damage. Okay. So yeah, you guys are both. You guys both hit this thing with lightning, but it's not going down. It is not going down. It is. It is gonna put up a fight. So it is going to turn to flee. What's its movement speed, real quick?
Swim speed of 60.
60 feet. Okay. So you guys' ship is moving at about the same speed as this thing. Roughly. Maybe a touch faster, actually. Actually, yeah, with your new ship, yeah, you guys are moving faster than this thing. So you're going to be able to catch up to it. So it's now turning to flee. As you guys are fucking blasting the shit out of it with lightning.
I want to cast command.
Okay. All right.
That's going to be a wisdom save, I believe.
Wisdom save. Okay. Let's give this new dice a try. That is a natural 6.
That metal die is really nice.
Yeah, it is, dude. Feel how heavy it is.
Oh my lord.
He's got a +1. So
He's got a +1,
that
so
does not
7.
save.
I know.
Yeah, no, DC 14. So I can command it with single word commands.
You can't even
Okay.
roll it. Just
And I'm going to
Yeah, just
command it to halt.
Okay.
you feel how
You can
heavy
speak.
it
Yeah,
is?
dude.
Can you speak with
He
secret
said he
creatures?
dropped on his
Right.
foot
Okay,
the other
cool.
night.
So yeah,
Like,
it understands your command
got a bump on
and
it.
it stops. It is just kind of listing in the water, damaged and probably terrified, but frozen for now.
Alright, so we get.
So if you guys want to make some more attacks, burn some more
Not
spell
concentra-
slots.
Not concentration either.
If you pull up close enough next to
Nice.
it, I'll jump on it.
So you guys could pull up side of it. Do you want the gems to fire the ballistas
I was gonna
at
say,
it?
we should
Yeah,
get
I think
smart
so.
points.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Blind,
go
definitely.
ahead and roll. I don't care which one of you guys. Go ahead and roll 2 attacks for the ballistas.
15 plus.
He's rolling.
It was just a
That didn't
practice
happen.
roll.
I dropped it.
It was flick.
Missing, but.
What do they call it? A mulligan.
Yeah.
That's how
Plus
2023 is
6,
going to be.
Yeah.
21. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you hit with the ballista, so you can roll that
Rolling
damage
into
as
the
well.
year with an
3d12 plus
Yeah.
9.
I feel.
Is 17 plus 9, 26.
All right. The whale is it's just still steady taking damage.
What?
It's HP it has left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what you
It's
just did.
still steady
What?
taking damage, and still under your command to not. So guys keep making attacks,
With
basically.
this being
So
a
we're
mini
at.
boss fight, you better let us sell this fucking thing.
We'll see
They're
what
in
happens.
there and they worship
So-
whales or something.
Yeah.
What did you do?
yeah, we're all going to jail.
It's a protected.
This is the oldest whale we ever had.
It's gonna be like the whale from Avatar.
Oh, yeah.
So is it attached to the ship now?
Tethered.
Yeah, it's tethered with a ballista.
Okay. Michael, you said you wanted to ride it?
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna
Do what
yeah, I'm
you
gonna
want,
command
right?
it to surface.
Okay, it surfaces.
And I guess we should just have everybody jump on and
Okay.
start stibbity
Stabbing.
stabbing.
Okay, yeah. So you guys pull up abreast of
I'm
this thing.
sitting
It's
here
just
thinking,
kind
I
of
would never do this, but I'm thinking, but Captain Zezel probably would.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see him jumping
Damn
off
it,
the side of the
Zezel.
ship.
Yeah, so you guys are kind of the Jimmy Chunga and the Jimi Hendrix pull up and basically flank on either side of this whale that's floating in. And everybody's
So
kind of
inhumane.
standing on the inside along the rails, just looking over. And just, you guys just start fucking leaping in.
An army of wood elves.
Yeah, an army. Just sit like the fucking World War Z. They just send over. Fucking, yes. Just crawling over the side of the ship and shit. Just and fucking just ripping at them with their claws. So yeah, you guys. I'll say that you guys. Unless anybody wants to roll for a nat 20, you guys are pretty much like on top of this thing. It's almost impossible not to hit it. So anybody who wants to roll for a nat 20 can go ahead and certainly do so
Sure.
on an attack against this thing.
2.
2.
5.
5.
No.
5.
Oh no.
What'd you get?
13.
13. Okay, so I'll say that at first, yes, because you guys all rolled basically like shit except Zezel. You guys land, and it takes you a minute to kind of get your footing as this thing is slick, and you guys kind of slip around and stuff. But then you guys just eventually start waylaying on this fucking thing. It takes you guys, it takes you guys a few rounds of stabbing the shit out of this thing, and it looks a little worse for wear. When you guys are done with it, it's got some fucking scorch marks from lightning on it. It's a little chewed up from being stabbed repeatedly with all variety of weapons. But it is, but it's dead. It's dead and
Peter doesn't
now
find out.
floating in the water. What are you guys gonna do with this massive corpse that's almost as long as the ship itself?
Is there a crane on the ship?
We won't have one.
Is there not a crane in the new ship? I don't think it's something.
Yeah, so there is like a crane that you could use, but very rapidly apparent that this thing cannot hold the weight of this whale. It will break. It will 100% break.
I guess if
I feel like we need to just. I can cast water breathing. Well, I was gonna say cast water breathing on everybody, and we can just start
Cutting it up.
carving it up now.
yeah, and I think I have water walk too. I don't know if that'll help.
We're going to attract a lot of sharks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want?
So
Cracker?
Cheese.
Meat?
cheese, please. Just a crumb.
Please, sir.
What kind?
Pepper jack.
It's my favorite.
You want two?
So, as you guys are kind of trying to figure out what on earth you guys are going to do with this gigantic whale, you actually see Jimmy the Great stands up on the side of his new ship and with one foot over the railing and says, basically like, lash it to the ship, we're going to tow it. And
That's what I was going to say.
Alright,
yeah,
Yeah,
so
we'll
he like the wood elves just fucking on the side of the ship and start like strapping. These wood elves now move like zombies. Sorry
Yeah.
guys, you've spoken to existence. Sorry, the mental image in my head. As they start wrapping ropes and tying ropes around it and then lashing the ropes to the back of the Jimi Hendrix. Guys kind of take off sailing again but you guys do have to tone it down a little bit because the Jimi Hendrix is significantly slower than you guys while it's towing this. So you guys have to slow it down a little bit to keep up. And it does slow your arrival into Casolne a little bit, but so you guys are gonna be hungry for about a half a day.
Can we back in?
With no food.
Just in case.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you guys has got a certification to drive with a trailer.
Hold on. I am proficient with water vehicles.
Yeah, I think we're all.
Yeah, you guys are good.
So
Yeah.
I give him the wheel for a minute. I'm like, hey, back this bitch in.
Yeah.
Okay. Or this is the lead.
He's just Turn the sails around.
All the what else are like. This is the stupidest session ever.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to pack it in just in case this is illegal. We
Yeah,
gotta get
you're
right,
out of here.
Yeah, so you can peel out quicker. So I'll say that if there's nothing else you guys want to do, you guys spend the next few days just kind of finishing up training and getting to know, spending a few more nights, getting some more druid training and things of that nature. Baruch spends a few more evenings out praying to Calypso. But one evening, the night before you guys arrive in Calzone, before you guys before you guys arrive in Calzone, you are in the Crow's Nest, and you are out doing druid training on the deck of the Jimi Hendrix. Both of you roll perception checks for me.
Since I got the periscope up there, does that help me?
Actually, no, because this is taking place on the deck of the ship.
25 perception.
25, okay.
18 plus 6, 24.
Okay. So both of you guys immediately notice. You guys notice Molly sneaking on deck of the Jimi Hendrix, trying to sneak out, like not off the ship, but like sneaking up towards the bow of the ship, not knowing that anybody is kind of out and about. Let me see. Roll her perception for her. She rolls a 2 for perception, so she doesn't notice that you are up in the crow's nest watching her, and she doesn't see the two of you sitting on the deck of the other ship in meditation.
What is she doing? Like, is it like she's talking to somebody? Or?
No, she's not talking to anybody, but she walks up to the bow of the ship, and you see her do what she's done for most of the time that you guys have been at sea, and that's lean over the rail at the bow of the ship, kind of looking over the water. But this time, she climbs up onto the rail and sits on the rail with her feet dangling off, and looks up at the moon for a little while, and then reaches behind her and takes her necklace off and puts it into a pouch. And when she takes her necklace off, her appearance immediately changes. And you see her skin go from a pale, elven complexion to almost a lavender, purplish color. And 2 curling ram's horns form on the side of her head, as she is just kind of sitting there, kicking her feet. Her hair also turns from like a natural earthen brownish color to fucking candy apple red. As she's now just kind of sitting over, sitting on the rail, just looking out over the edge of the ocean.
I'm going to message Venkin and say pass without trace.
Okay. Yeah, so you go ahead and cast Pass Without Trace.
I want to sneak up on her.
Okay. So you go ahead and roll your stealth back over to your ship, back over to the with your +10 for your Pass Without Trace to get back over to this ship unnoticed. That's a nat fucking 20. Okay. So you don't even see him. Before you realize it, he's already on the ship. And then you guys get the bonus as well. Are you going to stick behind, or are you going to?
I plan on talking to her. I don't plan on.
You just want to sneak up on her?
Yeah.
Don't give her the chance to try to put the necklace back on.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and roll.
Yeah. +2, 14, +10, 24.
Yeah. So you're able to sneak right up, and before she even realizes it, you're able to kind of climb over and sit next to her before she even realizes it. And but you kind of sit there for a second, and she's kind of looking off, and then she kind of looks over at you, and then looks back, and then double takes and startles and almost falls off the rail, but luckily is able to hold on and not fall off of the rail of the ship. And she's just kind of looking at you in just stunned like kid with a fucking hand in a cookie jar.
So I'm gonna tell her, look, I'm not here to cause problems. I've known for a while. I know things have been weird between the rest of the crew and you here recently. But you know, if we're gonna get you to where you need to be, we need a certain level of trust.
She kind of like puts her head down a little bit, and she puts her head down a little bit, and kind of for a moment you can see her like kind of the wheels in her head turning as she's trying to come up with something to say, and she just says, "I figured you think I was one of them," and you know, this is I've had to hide this my whole life, and yeah, like you can kind of tell she's just basically at this point kind of just defeated with it. She's pretty much tired.
Yeah.
You kind of get she's tired of the ruse, tired of the bullshit, and she's just like, you know, I'm not with them, and I'm not even related to them that I know of. I know a lot of tieflings are related, but I'm not related to them that I know of, and
lawful evil.
so she's like, I just,
Chaotic.
you know, she's like, but just know that once we get closer to these elves, like, I'm gonna have to bring this back up, because if they find out, it could like jeopardize not only my but my mother's safety.
Understood. I know we're not getting the whole story from you. If we're going to, if we're going to continue to have this relationship that we do, we're going to need the full story.
Roll persuasion.
Persuasion.
With advantage, considering the circumstances. You kind of have her up against the wall a little bit.
I get a +7. 16 + 7, 23.
23, yeah. So she kind of, once again, just like gives a little bit of a defeated sigh, and is just like, okay, where do you want me to start? I guess I'll start at the beginning.
What?
My mother is the granddaughter of the emperor of what the fuck is it?
Amari and Amaru.
No. The city that she's going to, Kathir. He's the emperor of that entire kingdom. His fortresses in Kathir, where I hope my mother is. She ran off to go adventuring before I was born, and against her family's wishes, and came back pregnant with a tiefling. And so to avoid me and her being killed, she had this magical item made to disguise me. She couldn't make my essence that of a true elf, so she made me a half-elf, which is a lot, which is not exactly smiled upon, but a lot better than a tiefling. So, but she says basically that her mother had to hide that from her, and being a half-elf was a whole lot better than being a fucking tiefling. And so she says, so my mother's name is Althea, and she Alpha. And my father's name is Aman. And that's all I know about him. I've never met him. But my mother said that the only thing she's ever told me about him is, well, she gave me a picture of him, and she kind of reaches into her thing and pulls out a picture and shows it to you. Roll insight.
+6, 4,
10. You've seen this face before, you just don't know where.
So I recognize him.
You recognize him.
Okay.
And she says, she basically says that when she was a kid, her mom sent her away. Basically, and that, like she's kind of already told you this bit a little bit about, she got sent away for her own safety, and then she got picked up by these people, and then they seem to be like preparing her for some shit, etc., etc. And then basically she comes to present, and she's just like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with the Amari, or really honestly even the Amaru, unless I absolutely have to. I just want to be done with it.
Sure.
So
Understood. So I'm gonna ask her, as we're approaching potentially the end of our journey together, what do you need from us?
if you can just, all I need is to get to Kathir safely. Maybe some money for some new clothes.
Okay.
That's really it. I don't really. Other than that, I have a few contacts in Kathir that I can trust to go find a place where I can lay low until I can, find my way to my mother.
Okay. I tell her I can provide you with gold. That's no problem. I do want to ask for one thing in return. I want you to provide me the infernal alphabet.
Ooh. She's like, this isn't a no, but just out of curiosity, why?
We've been followed for a while now by some tiefling folk, and I'm trying to protect our crew, and I need as many resources as I can get.
She's fair enough, and she says, yeah, absolutely. That's no problem. I can, and she's like, I imagine you've got some. So you get kind of handed over to her, and she kind of sits down on the lotus position on the deck, and begins just like writing, and writes basically like a key, A B C D kind of, and like they don't line up directly A B C D kind of, but there's certain sounds and stuff. But she basically creates a cipher for
enough
you.
for me to read it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, she creates a cipher for you.
So can I say that I know Infernal now?
I'll say you're gonna need to study it to know Infernal. But yeah, you're in the process of learning Infernal. If you want, you could even ask her to try to help teach you how to speak it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'll say then for the last night or for the last remaining time before you guys get to Kathir, that can be something you guys are gonna be doing in the background, is her teaching you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so
you wanna?
No, I didn't really come near you guys. Just let you guys.
okay. Yeah, I imagine you could probably, once you kind of realized that it wasn't going to be anything, that she wasn't going to react negatively, I imagine you probably just went back to your training.
And, I want to ask her how she feels about revealing her true self to the rest of the party.
She kind of looks a little nervous and says, can you trust them?
I mean, they already know.
So yeah, I'm gonna be candid with her and tell her, like, look, I've already told everybody I know the truth about you, but
she understands. She's like, okay, she says that she doesn't want to walk. I don't want to walk openly like this.
for sure. I mean, just like behind closed doors, maybe in the captain's quarters or something.
Yeah, I just
have a powwow.
For sure, absolutely. I'm willing to do that. I just there's a lot of wood elves over there, and if one of them gets captured, I don't want them to say, hey, there's a tiefling that's masquerading as a half elf on this ship among you guys.
Absolutely.
Cause myself and you potentially a lot of trouble. And she says, and she actually says, do you guys have any spells for disguising yourselves?
Yeah.
Because elves are quite.
You have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're quite unwelcoming of outsiders.
Yeah. I let her know. Venkin is the man for that.
Cool. All right. So yeah. So okay. She basically at this point she kind of like she says, well, I guess I'm gonna retire for the night, and we'll be at port in the morning. So she puts her necklace back on and kind of skulks down. It's like fuck. You know, she's kind of walking a little differently. Like, you can tell she's like, son of a bitch. Like,
Defeated.
yeah, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Like, kind of kicking herself in the ass for doing that, for wanting just to go out there and sit like that. She made a mistake. So, at least to her. But anyways, so if there's nothing else anybody wants to be doing, then the next morning, about gets close to about midday, and you guys can see now the port of Casolm. It's it's not like massive and sprawling. It's nothing like what was it, Callumsport. Callumsport was that massive city. It's not on that scale, but it's quite large nonetheless. And very, very, like every fucking thing is ornate. Like everything is ornate. It's typical elven shit. It's like everything is like extremely well done and very ornate. You don't see hardly any non-elven ships in this port. Like you may see one or two smaller ships, but there's not a large amount of ships that are non-elven and make elven ships have a very, very like unmistakable design.
So we're gonna stick out. Huh? So we're gonna stick out.
Yeah, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. Especially like, so basically you're the one dude. You're the dude that rolls up and you're that guy. No, no, you guys are the dudes that roll up to like an American car show and an import. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are that guy, and everybody's like, as soon as you guys begin to come in to port and see the docks and everything and start to pull in, you can immediately, trying to back up, trying to back into this parking spot. You can tell already just by looking at that. Everyone is looking at you.
She just died.
Like everybody's looking at you guys. And go ahead and I imagine are you proficient in water vehicles?
I thought everybody was because we only picked like.
I think the pirate background.
I'm not.
If you have the pirate background, then it gives you.
I think.
Uruk is definitely not.
Yeah.
Well then, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I imagine you're steering the ship then, and then you're probably still on lookout. And so when you get a second, Perry, go ahead and make a perception check.
The D12.
Bruh.
You notice nothing.
You were breathing.
You guys, you get caught not being lookout and studying the infernal paper. You're just too interested. You're studying your infernal paper that she gave you. Uruk, you can hear from down below decks. You can hear that, like you can tell, like from the motion of the ship, that you guys are now coming into port. So I imagine you're probably going to make your way on deck soon.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you guys pull in and drop anchor and everything, tie off, it becomes immediately apparent that there is a small contingency of elven guards that are now standing at the end of the pier that you guys waiting for you. They're standing there, and there's 6 of them, fully armored, helms, the works. 2 of them have like these like very, very long, like basically essentially something like a halberd, and then the other 4 are archers. And they're elven archers, and then standing in front of these 6 is a man, an elf, and dressed in what looks like some kind of official robes or garb of some kind. He has some kind of official status. Since most of you have never really spent a lot of time around high elven society, you wouldn't know precisely what it means, but...
Wait, we rolled up in a high elven village?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are in this whole entire coastline that you guys are along, you guys are in the realm, and like even the water is the territory. The sea that you guys are in is the territory of this massive elven kingdom that you guys have entered the bailiwick of. So,
Which ship did we take again? Was it
The elven
you guys have
ship.
you guys have both. You guys have these ships.
I know, but we're rolling in with one of their ships. Is what I'm saying.
You are rolling in with
Probably.
So I'll say the ship
is
that you guys
probable.
stole.
Was it the Hobgoblin one we took, or the?
So
think it was the
you
slaver
guys
ship.
sunk the hobgoblin ship and
that's
took
right.
the slaver ship.
Okay. Shit.
This ship.
Can we just
The
oops,
ship that
wrong
you-
house.
No, you guys. The ship that you guys
Wow.
stole
Yeah,
is
I've got
not.
a DoorDash for.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the ship that you guys stole is not an elven military ship, but it does look to be of elven design, and so, but it doesn't look like any of the ships that you can see in your immediate vicinity. But you guys pull up, and these guys are just kind of standing out there, just all fucking regal looking and shit, just waiting for you, waiting for you guys to disembark the ship.
Alright, so how are we gonna play this? Do we wanna
So-
pretend that we're slavers or
No.
just
No.
go in?
I think.
No,
I
I'm
think
just gonna tell them that we took the ship from the hobgoblins.
That was
there was
what I
no
said,
elves on the ship. They were already
my
dead.
thing about that is, I'm afraid that they're gonna want it back.
It's
I
fine.
mean, we can cross that bridge when we get there, but
yeah. I
okay.
mean, it's not like we really need that money specifically.
Well, then
like,
you gotta worry about all the slaves too.
it's just
If I
gonna
want
be
them,
extra.
they may want
Yeah,
them
well.
back too.
Yeah, what about the wood elves?
Our lives are more important than the wood elves. So.
Don't say that to the wood elves.
No, I didn't.
Slowly, he leans in chaotic evil.
Yeah. So if any of you guys have good written on your character sheet, yeah, most of you guys need to scratch
Yeah.
that shit out. I was gonna say you guys are best neutral. But anyway, so yeah, so you guys are on board, kind of doing a little powwow. I imagine the captain's quarters before you disembark the ship, knowing that these guys are fucking standing out there waiting on you. So, Aruk, you guys are all in the captain's quarters having this conversation.
Okay.
So, what is you guys' plan? Are you guys just gonna walk off and?
What's the plan, Cap?
Yeah.
Who's got the highest persuasion?
We got pretty good.
I think he does, probably.
I've got a +7.
Oops. +8.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Captain.
Okay. So you guys are gonna make your way off the ship. The captain goes first.
I am a halfling, so does that mean I'm half elf?
No.
Right?
You know, halfling means you're like half-sized.
Wow.
Yeah. So no,
Fae.
you do have Fae ancestry as well, but you would know, being a half-elf, a halfling, that elves don't fucking like anyone who's not an elf.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how they are. So you walk off. Who all is going with him?
I'll go with.
Calvin Jack, you going with as well?
Up.
Yes.
Okay. Aruk, are you going as well?
How bad are they gonna hate me?
I mean, you're a half orc, bro. You're an orc, so they're gonna hate all of you guys. So you're not gonna be special.
Okay, I guess I'll go with.
Okay. And Molly comes along as well, and
That
she
helps us, right?
maybe
Yeah.
maybe. While she does have the appearance of a half elf, her elven features in this are pretty
Skewed.
strong. They're pretty. The elven
Okay.
features. Her elven features are pretty strong. She doesn't look like a typical half elf who you can definitely tell they got some human in them. She's got very angular features.
Does she know anything of this town?
She's never been here. She's heard of it, but she's never been here.
I'm gonna lean into her and ask her, do you want to handle the conversation?
She's like, I mean, I'm not in charge, but they're gonna hate me. They're probably gonna hate me. Maybe not quite as much as some of you guys, but they're still gonna hate me.
Yeah.
So,
Let's just be like, get them. Get to these guys.
yeah. So you guys walk down. You guys make your way down off of the Chimichanga and onto the deck.
Friends? No.
And
Just kidding.
The elves take the elven official takes a step forward and greets you and says, "Hello and good morning." In common, and he says, "Can I ask what business you have here in Casolm?"
I'll tell him. Good morning. I say, we're running dangerously low on supplies, and we were hoping we could hopefully resupply here.
Absolutely, that's something you can absolutely do. We have a couple of different shops that service to travelers that you can speak with. Is that your only business here today?
I mean, maybe the
Trade, yeah, whatever.
might want to sell the whale. Depends. We'll have to look at the fish markets first. So I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So they're like, so the elven official says, okay, and he turns back to one of the elves with the halberd, and you see them kind of speaking for a moment, and then he comes back and he has a slip of parchment, and he writes on the parchment, and then casts a slight bit of magic on it, hands it to you, and he says, "This is your pass. If you're confronted or asked by any of the guard or anyone that you see, you simply present this to them. It is good for 1 day. You will have to come to me to renew it if you'd like to stay another day. Otherwise, you must leave by the time the pass is up."
So it's best if we stick together.
Yes, I do not go wandering about by yourself, and do not break the law. and he says,
Don't get caught.
"Yeah."
Is there anything particularly illegal that we should know about?
He says, "Well, I would just be on your absolute best behavior to be safe."
How does this community feel about whales?
He kind of cocks his head. What do you mean?
I don't know. It's just,
In what sense?
do you like them? Do you eat them? Do you...
We don't really eat them very often. And he kind of looks around you and looks at and he sees the whale.
Hold on. No, I'm gonna block it. I'm gonna lean it. It's kinda like-
Okay, go ahead and roll sleight of hand to see how good you can block his.
Come on, big money. That's a 2.
Yeah.
That's all right.
He goes like this, and you kind of lean with him, and he goes like this. He kind of feints like this, and you feint back, and then he fucking looks around you, and you're like, shit.
He grabs my head like that.
And so he says, I hope you don't plan on dragging any of that thing into the city. You are not permitted to sell anything here. And he kind of like that. You have to get a special permit for that, and for that you have to speak to the captain.
I am the captain.
No, he goes, no, the captain of the guard.
Where can we find him?
He points over, and you can kind of see at one of the many different staircases leading up to the main city. You see quite a large guard tower, and he kind of points and he says, "That way."
Has he seen any of the wood elves or up on the
No,
ship?
the wood elves are
he's
still
Below deck.
below deck.
So that
They're below
bridge
deck
hasn't been crossed.
on the Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, that bridge hasn't been crossed yet. They're below decks on the Jimi Hendrix.
I was gonna ask, should we start?
I feel like we need to have somebody stay with the ship because
I was gonna say that, and
they're probably gonna board.
yeah, they probably will try.
I'll stay with the ship.
So my next question was, if we're not gonna be able to sell this, do we want to have all the wood elves start carving up this meat?
Not out here.
I mean, we could
That's
That seems like something
maybe
Mr.
try to
Stick
bribe
Up His Butt would get mad
merchant.
about. Not in my port. You must have a permit to cut that up.
I don't think that'll end well, but I'm down if you are.
Doesn't matter. That's fine.
I'm staying with the ship.
I feel like they're gonna board and find the wood elves.
Okay, so you're gonna stay. Jimmy is gonna stay with he's gonna stay aboard the Jimi Hendrix, and you're gonna stay aboard the Jimmy Changa then, while they're in the city.
Yeah.
So you could leave Jim with a G behind in charge, And they've got backup. They've got in the event that something goes really shitty, they've got a fucking zombie swarm of wood elves.
I
And
don't know, I'm half tempted just to tell him to sail off a little bit.
just go way
Dump the
anchor
whale.
way out in the.
Yeah, we can catch up to him pretty quickly too.
Yeah,
So.
we
could
could
probably-
probably resupply and get
worst
enough
case-
supplies to resupply his ship as well,
Yeah.
and then he can take
Oh,
all
yeah.
the wood
Worst
elves
case, we
with
could
him.
cure the whale meat ourselves. We have salt.
Yeah, I was gonna say just
He
So
can
why
just
don't
take the whale and all the wood elves with him. That way they're all safe.
and then just start carving it up out on the water.
That works. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I can.
business.
I'll message him.
Okay, so you guys orchestrate that with Jimmy the Great and Jim with a G. You guys kind of orchestrate all of that, and they pretty soon say us. They.
I mean, we're slave traders.
Wanker
Our asses are going to
sail
jail if we get
far
caught.
out or further out into the bay.
I don't think we'll get the luxury of
We're
jail.
not really slave traders. We're what would you call it?
Abolitionists.
Freers. Abolitionists. There we go.
So yeah, so they kind of they go out into the bay and weigh anchor out in the bay, and you guys make your way.
You there, Eric?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. So anyways, so they make it out to the bay and they weigh anchor out there, and they're kind of doing their thing out there. And yeah, you guys are now in the city of Casolm, and you got Calzone, and you guys make your way past. You may make your way up into the city. 5 of you plus Molly, make your way up into the city. And where are you guys heading first? What's your first thing you want to go do?
I think the only thing we really need to do is
Schedule resupply.
yeah, just
So you guys are just gonna go. So all right.
Well,
Go ahead.
I want to find a magical trinket shop.
Okay. So give me just a second here.
Specifically, I want to find a cloak of billowing.
Eric's favorite magical item in all of D&D universe.
What does that do?
It
Exactly.
glows dramatically whenever you walk into a room.
It's just
it's a cloak, and then when you walk,
just,
regardless of the wind or whatever, when you walk into a room, it goes
yeah.
and flares
Okay.
out, makes you look all important. Eric had one for his gnome wizard that he played for the longest time.
I'll just Google it. I don't have that kind of money.
Okay, so you guys make your way through the city, and pretty quickly you can you find the store that you were directed to by the high elf that greeted you on the docks. It is a place called Morgulans. Yeah, Morgulans. Sorry, these other names are fucking weird. But it's a quite the buildings here have a very kind of interesting architectural design. The city is like it's similar to Kalimsport in the sense that like everything kind of seems to be built all together, all flowing into one in a very strange ways. It kind of flows over the landscape, but also it's very, like I said, very, very, very ornate. Like on the level of like fucking like ancient Greece or ancient Egypt, where literally every possible thing that can be ornate is ornate. And you see this very typical kind of ornately decorated sign that says Morgans or Morgulans, my bad. Yeah, it's like basically like a general supply kind of resupply store, that sort of thing. As you guys enter, there is an older elven man. You know, it takes quite a long time for elves to become old. Hundreds and hundreds of years. So you suspect this man could be every bit of 500 years old. And he's just kind of behind the counter, just doing some different shit. And kind of looks up as you guys walk in and says, "Oh, hello." And he kind of looks at the lot of you, and he's like, "Jesus fucking Christ." There's not two of the same kind in the whole party, son of a bitch. And he's like, as he's kind of like eyeballing you guys, he's like, what can I do for you?
We're a very diverse group.
He says, I can help.
Cakes of Billowing. Do you have them?
He kind of, no, we don't really deal in magical trinkets here. We mostly deal in food and supplies and things of that nature. Yeah. He says, but just next door, there's my brother runs a shop just next door that might have what you need if that's the sort of thing you're looking for. But he says,
Is it called
is there anything
Faymart?
food or supplies or do what, Rook?
Oh, I said, is it called Faymart?
Faymart. No, but it might be now.
It might be now.
So, when you say that, the elf behind the counter is like, it's not a bad name. And then he kind of looks to the rest of you and says, but if there's any food or supplies or anything of that nature that you need, I can help you.
So, we're probably gonna need, like, how far away is the next town?
You guys, when you guys charted it, the last you charted it, it was like, you got about almost 3 weeks to the capital where you're going.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell him we need about a month's worth of food.
What?
For
30 people?
No.
40 people.
40 people. He says, he's like, oh, well, all right. And he he kind of pulls out a thing and he starts doing some, and he's like, what quality level are you thinking here? We have like your economy grade, and then we have the higher quality food as well. What what's
You
your
have like a
preference?
mid-tier?
No, we just have elven quality and non-elven quality. And he says that kind of hoidily.
Hoidily. What's the price?
I like this fucking guy.
Give me a quote for both.
Or
He
half
says,
and half, maybe.
40 people for 30 days. Well, he says for elven quality, that's gonna run you just about 12,000 gold.
What does that package include?
He says he kind of actually shows you, and it's actually like really nice shit.
Oh, I'm sure
Like
it
it's
is.
like really nice shit. You're like, oh damn, there's like wine and
I'm
I mean,
sure it is.
you're talking like this would feed like this is the kind of like shit that would feed 40 prissy ass elves for 30 days at sea. Like all of the accoutrement and like pomp
What about
and
without the wine?
circumstance. He says, no wine.
We've got our own
Sailors, right? Oh,
We've got our own
oh, okay. Fair enough. He says without the wine, he's like, I can do it for 8,900 gold without the wine. He says for the more common ingredients, he kind of does some math and
No wine.
and he says, of course, 3,500 gold.
You think so?
I mean, we already got
Spice it up
meat,
with
so.
fish.
What comes with the
So he shows you.
non-elven?
Yeah, he shows you. It's basically like yeah, salted meats, certain X amount of pounds of a couple different kinds of salted meat, like some like hardtack like bread, and just like basic shit, but it's plenty.
Dried fruit.
Yeah, dried fruits, all different kinds of things that you would need to get your vitamins and stuff to see, dried fruits and vegetables. But yeah, it's just basically like all that sort of thing.
I'm good with that.
As well as like salt, sugar, fresh, big casks of fresh water to drink. Like it's got everything you need in it.
Okay.
So, so you guys are gonna do the economy?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that he says, that'll be
food stamps.
He kind of, what the fuck is a food stamp?
3,500.
Yeah, 3,500 gold. And he says, that'll be payment up front, and we can have it delivered by the end of the day.
Alright, I get a fucking massive bag and
Fucking cracks the countertop. He says, he kind of
is the
looks
non-elven gold okay?
he kind of pulls the gold out and looks at it, and the gold that you guys, the most of the gold you guys have is from Kalimshan, and so it has like the leader, what the fucking the emperor, whatever the fuck his name is, of Kalimshan on one side of it and stuff, and he kind of looks at it and like, yes, and he kind of, you know what I mean, and he also gives you like a very judgmental look that you're not carrying this amount of gold in like something more tactful. No, something more tactful, like a bag of holding that doesn't make noise and isn't. And, you know, he's just being judgmental as shit.
And I'm gonna need a receipt for that too.
Yeah. And yeah, he does. He fucking gives you a slip or whatever. And he says, you know, hand this to yeah. And he kind of.
I'm out the door.
Yeah, you just take off.
He
I'm out the
didn't do
door.
his little elven magical thing that they do on the papers there.
That he doesn't.
Fuck him.
Yeah, you take the slip from him and you just kind of storm out in the direction. You're kind of like, okay, looks like we're done here. And he is just like giving you this like, and only the way that an ancient like old person snobbiness on top of elven snobbiness. It's basically a double whammy of snobbiness coming you guys'
Elf
way.
boomer energy.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely, elf boomer energy. So, yeah. So, you guys make your way out of this shop, and he did tell you that next door is a magical shop run by his brother.
That's fine.
So you're gonna pop in there.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, you walk in, and there is an old man who looks literally identical to the one across the
same clothes.
No, they're different colors. They're wearing basically the same outfit, just slightly different colors.
Okay.
And he kind of looks up and he goes, "Oh, hello there." And he gives you the exact same, like, Jesus fucking Christ, there's not two of a kind among the whole damn lot.
Yeah, we're a diverse bunch.
Yeah, he says, I can see that. And so you guys, but he says, what can I do for you guys today? But go ahead, as you guys approach the counter, go ahead and roll insight for me.
16.
23.
Okay, so those of you who rolled above about a 15, you all immediately notice that he is fucking staring at Molly. Like, his eyes, since she came around, because like, I'm sure she came in behind Aruk, so like, she wasn't visible immediately. Because like, I mean, imagine Venkin and Aruk probably pulled up the rear, and the two of you big ass dudes, like, she just kind of fucking pops out from behind these two, and ever since she's come into his view, his eyes have not left her.
Okay.
Can I do the up and down look on him?
What do you mean?
Like just to
Like-
see if
Yeah,
he's
perception.
like
Yeah.
a-
Give him a.
You wouldn't really need to look down. I mean,
yeah, bro. Like you try to look under his
higher?
feet.
Yeah.
You're just
19.
picking up the front of his
Yeah.
shoe. 19. Yeah. So he is giving you like some like. So as you like look over him, he looks a little frail. He definitely looks old as shit. But his clothes are like outrageous. Like you don't know that you have enough money in the ship's fund to buy his clothes from him. But you do see that they're like he seems to be like in good spirits. He's still like fixated on Molly. He's giving you some hardcore Master Roshi vibes for sure. So, yeah. So he kind of takes his eyes off her for a moment to give you guys each a glance and says, "What can I help you with today?"
Say, How much for your clothes?
He kind of like looks down and he's like, oh, these? Well, they're not for sale, but
Oh, everything's for sale.
and he goes, I've had them for years and they're quite lavish and they don't make things quite like they used to. I'd say they're probably, I don't know, 50,000 gold.
That's it.
That's
I figured maybe your stature you'd be wearing something more ornate.
He like roll insight.
That's a 7 plus 6, 13.
He like
Gall in this man.
he's just like the audacity of this fucking water breather to walk into my shop. You know, and he says he's like well, I must say it's a sight better than what you're wearing, my good lad. And he says now before we continue to throw shade at one another, is there anything that I can help you with?
I laugh and I kind of punch him on the shoulder. And I'm like, I'm glad you can
He
take it.
falls all the way.
He dies. He fucking dies. Yeah. We're rich boys.
Taylor taking his clothes
Yeah.
off. But yeah, so you kind of punch him on the shoulder. He's like, oh, Jesus.
I say, well, I mean, if you're not willing to part with your clothes, I guess I'll settle with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cloaks of billowing.
He actually laughs out loud. And he's like, 6 cloaks of billowing.
Please and thank you.
He says, I don't have any cloaks of billowing in stock. However, I can get, if you bring me cloaks, I can enchant them to become cloaks of billowing.
Okay.
Which I imagine you guys have cloaks.
Wait, can you enchant the feather on my hat?
Ooh,
Certainly. I can
that's
enchant
good.
just about anything you would like.
That's good.
That
way it kind of like...
So he says to enchant the cloaks for billowing will be 200 gold each.
Oh, jeez.
To enchant them. And then he says, that depends on what you want your feather to do, my friend. To billow? Do you want your feather to billow?
Make it sentient.
A feather of billowing.
Oh, you make it sentient. Can it talk and like make little quickie remarks? Yes. Perfect idea.
That's quite much more sophisticated magic. But I could do it. I could do it. It won't be cheap though.
Oh, would it be the feather of mockery?
Yeah, 1,000.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You have to understand. I have to call on ancient forces in order to, and also trap an intelligence within a feather.
Okay, what about a feather of mockery?
Oh, you should make it Mr. Hanky.
A feather of mockery. So, what you want? Just what, like a couple of preloaded phrases in there?
Or you could bind a fae to it.
Would you? He looks at you and like you just suggested that. You like you just asked if you could fuck his mom.
Like a fairy, like a pixie.
He's like, he's just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, he's triggered, dude. Like, hard.
Technically, I'm part face, so I can't bind myself to it.
And he says, absolutely not. He says,
It doesn't have to be a live one.
like, he just kind of looks at you like, he can't believe what you're saying. And he says, no, I don't think so. But if you guys are quite done playing with me,
I got it. Bind it to my ship so that the feather points to where my ship's at all times.
He kind of stops for a second and he goes, that I can do. 1,000 gold. Deal. Okay. He says, and the billowing, would you all like your cloaks to billow as well?
Can it billow and points it to my ship?
No. You can have a cloak that billows and a feather that points to your ship. That's all you can get.
don't think I have a cape though. I got my jacket. I can make my jacket, Bill.
He could do that. Yeah, he could do that to your long leather trench coat that you have. That would work. He could
And
do the
how
same
much
thing.
was it per cloak?
I think it's 200 gold.
200. So that'd be 1,200. I'm just gonna take it out of the ship fund.
So yeah, he says, well, you have to leave them with me, and you can come pick them up in a few hours.
I'll pay for my feather.
So yeah, so you take 1,000 gold out of your thing, and then 1,200 out of the ship fund, and you guys leave all of your effects.
But I'm
With
getting one for Molly too.
Okay, yeah, she's like, okay. She's never seen a cloak of billing, so she doesn't really know what it is.
I look at her and I say, trust.
So you guys, so he's like, all right, give me about 3 or 4 hours, and then these will be done for you. So you guys leave the
So-
shop.
I say,
As we're walking out of the store, I want to like, as we're walking out, just like kind of like say out loud, but kind of ask Perry, like, isn't that how magic works? Like, can't you bind like, spirits to different things, create different magical objects? I was like, I wasn't asking for, him to bind like a live fairy. I was like, think of the meanest, dirtiest fucking pixie you've ever met and bind that spirit to it.
And I say, yeah, but I mean, the man was old and he was wearing those rags. I don't know.
I just want to trigger
hear,
him more by bringing up necromancy.
that.
I just wanted to trigger him more by bringing up necromancy.
He's just like you hear him just like muttering, just like under his breath, like I fucking hate outsiders. Like I fucking. So he's just grumbling under his breath.
You didn't know about your body's extended warranty?
So is there anywhere else in the city you guys would like to go check out? Anything you'd like to look for? Go get some food? Like
I think we're pushing our luck.
Well, we're gonna chill for like 3 hours, right?
I mean,
you have a few hours to kill before you can come back and get your shit. So
I love
Hit a
how our
tavern?
plan was to pillage the next town, and then Nick sets up a whole damn guard. to
Yeah,
beat
no
us up
kidding.
before
Well,
we-
right.
I mean, it's not too late.
No, but I mean.
oh well, no.
I
You
mean,
guys run into so
We could
many-
always get into a bar fight.
I mean,
We could start a bar
anything
fight.
is possible. You guys make your way down the street, and there is a really nice looking tavern that's called the Moonbeam, and it's got it's kind of like I said, the city is laid out very weirdly, and it kind of conforms to the natural the natural shape of the land, and the shops that you guys were just in are kind of down on a hill, and you have to walk up a hill to get to this tavern. And this tavern is kind of sitting, not entirely by itself, but kind of a little bit by itself, perched up on this hill. So you guys make your way inside, and it's pretty much like kind of dead. There's like a couple of other people that are in there that aren't elves, and you see that this establishment, actually the bartender is a half elf, and all of the bar service staff are also half elves in this particular tavern. There's 3 people seated in the bar. One is a human male sitting solo at the bar, and then there's 2 that are at a table along one wall. Both of those figures are hooded, and you cannot tell necessarily exactly what they are. But yeah,
This is
otherwise
the
the bar
campaign
is
where you got me with the
empty.
broom.
I think I got you with the broom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I'd
got
say-
you with the broom, I think. Yeah.
Um,
Figure
stick in the
made me
corner.
think of it, yeah.
I thought it too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about it.
I did too until he said the hooded figures in the corner.
Never trust another one.
Nope.
Yeah.
So I immediately take off my shoe and
Yeah.
throw it in the corner.
You knock the beer out of the hand, and they're like, "What the fuck?" But otherwise, it is completely empty in here. You guys walk in, and there's empty tables. You like go sit at the table, go up to the bar.
Table, probably. Probably get a
So yeah, you guys kind of go sit down at a table, and this young half-elven male walks up and says, "Well, hello there. Oh, what a motley crew we've got. What can I get for you guys?" And he says he kind of actually like passes out like a few like menus, kind of essentially, and it's got like there's several different. There's like on the back there's a couple of different options. There's all wine though. There's no ale. There's no liquor. Wine, just
No
wine. Yeah.
wine?
No, there's not any no wine listed, but there are like probably better than 16 different varieties of wine listed on the back of it. As far as food, there is a couple of different fresh fish options, and there are some other options like elk and some things of that nature as well, and some stews and things like that.
I want to ask him if.
And there's also like a bunch of vegetarian options as well.
I want to ask him if there's anything, any wines that are not elven that they offer.
He says, unfortunately, no. He's like, sorry, bro. We got you.
Sit on the table and like, okay, thanks.
He's like, okay, all right then.
Just gonna challenge him and be like, I bet you don't have anything better than Gnomish wine.
He says, he smiles a little bit. He cracks a little bit of a wry smile, and he's like, not better, but I've got something that's not bad. And he says, he says, would you like to try? He's like, all of you, just you?
I'll try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Sure.
yeah, so he's like, any food, anything else like that?
Whatever the tonight's special is.
Okay, yeah, you guys want some food, and so he ends up bringing out, some time passes, you're kind of just sitting there awkwardly, you could hear the slight chattering of the two hooded figures, and then the solo figure sitting at the bar is just literally just fucking drinking wine. Each time, I will say that every time he drinks it, he's just like he wishes it was something else.
Can I try and eavesdrop on the hooded figures?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll, what would you even roll for that? Fuck it. Let's just get, let's do perception.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, so they're like, you just hear them and they're like, Jesus Christ, we have to get the fuck out of here. This place sucks. And like,
Alright.
and, the other one's like, yeah, they're like, the wine is fucking terrible. I don't understand what the deal with these fucking elves and this wine is. It's fucking terrible. So, they, after, like, you guys kind of listen, you're like, Jesus. Everyone here hates it besides the elves. And the half elf comes and brings you guys like a bowl of the stew, and it's got pieces of what looks like some kind of red meat in it, and it's a piece of red meat, and it's got like all different kinds of like root vegetables and different things of that nature in it, and then also a glass of this like really, really deep reddish, almost purplish colored wine. And this wine's kind of thick. It's got a little bit of it's like thick with at least one C. So
At least once.
it's not like syrup level thick, but it's like some frost milk level thick. It's got a little thickness to it.
Okay. I'm gonna ask him like, what is it? What is it brewed with?
He says, I'm actually not quite certain. A lot of the wines around here, he's like, I know. He's like, but elves are very particular about their recipes.
So
and
you're
things.
in the barkeep and you don't know what you're serving.
He's like, dude, I'm new, okay, please. He's like, as you can tell, I'm a half elf. They don't like me either. All right. He's like, I know it sucks here. And like, this is all the vibe he's getting, like you're getting from him as you're like, you don't know. And he's like, look. And he's like, just give me a second. And he goes and he grabs one of the menus that he takes from you, and he points. It's the very last option on the back, and he's it's like it just says what's the fucking?
Is it in common?
Yeah, it's in common.
Okay.
It's in common, but it's some crazy fucking elvish name, and it just says it says thick mouthfeel. That's all it says on the back of
That's
the.
the worst thing it could have said.
Yeah, it says thick mouthfeel.
Nope.
He's like, look, guys, I'm sorry, I don't know what the fuck it's made with. He's like, that's all it says. That's all the information I have.
Cream.
a sip, yeah.
It's so you guys all take a sip, and it's way better than you thought it was gonna be. It's not like on the level of like gnome wine. It's not gonna get you like
Mashed
super
potatoes?
fucked up. But
Mashed
it's got
potatoes.
it's got, yeah, it's
Best flavor I've ever had.
it is earthy. It does have the weird thing about it is though, the weird part about it that you don't like is while it's actually pretty velvety, the texture is actually not bad considering it's thick, but it's got this weird like note of almost like sassafras in it. Like this really like almost overpowering like note of sassafras like on the back. So it tastes good while you're drinking it, but as soon as it's actually down your throat and just like leaving that mouth taste, and then it's like sassafras and like kind of like some really like crazy strong like root beer or sarsaparilla kind of almost like sassafras taste. And he's like, the best thing on the menu. Like,
I lean over towards the hooded figures and I say really loud, "Yeah, this place blows."
like what? Like almost like in like a dad behind a newspaper kind of way. Like he kind of peeks around his like, bro, peeks around his hood. But you guys try the food. The food's not bad. It's just kind of underseasoned. Like it almost seems like that's the theme of this elven cuisine is underseasoned. But it's good. It's fresh ingredients, super fresh ingredients. And I will say that after having tasted the food and wine, you're very happy that you went with the non-elven supplies at the store.
We've been pissed. That price and that quality. Shit. I guess we can allow it.
So yeah, he's like, I'm sorry that you guys are disappointed with the fare here. But he's like, it's actually surprisingly one of the better places to eat here. And you're just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
We understand you just work here.
And but eventually he brings you like a tab with like how much you owe on it or whatever. On the back it says like, God, please take me with you. Like scrawled on the back of it.
I just look at him and I go, Jim?
Yeah, is your name Jim? Jim?
And like,
Jim?
oh yeah, hey, yeah, my name's Jim.
We need you back at the ship now.
Oh, yes, Captain. and he's like, oh, I'll grab my things. I'm sorry, I'll never run away again. As he runs away. And like the bartender's like,
as we're getting ready to leave, I'm gonna look at the hooded figures and be like, are you guys coming as well?
they're like, they just kind of look at you and they're like, no, we're all right. We're getting the fuck out.
He's a half elf, right?
Yeah, he is a half elf. So you guys have a new gym.
That was easy.
Prompter gym. You just want the fuck out.
An on-ship bartender now.
Yeah, there you go. Who doesn't know what's on the menu?
His name is Jimmy G's.
So so you guys square up. It's just like a few gold. You guys square up with the bartender, and you guys leave. You guys don't see your new gym. But as you guys walk outside to wait for him, he's already out there. He's got like a bag, and he's just like already waiting. Like he went out and ran out the back and ran around. You don't have to even say bye to those people. And he's just like, I
want to ask him what he got paid. Oh, buddy. You're going to like it.
He's like, I was an intern.
Intern bartender.
I wasn't very good at it. And he's young. Like, you could tell, like, he's probably he's not a day over 20. Like, he's young. So you guys, there's you guys wasted about like an hour in there, maybe a little bit more. So you guys want to, if there's anything else you want to look for in the city, or you guys can just head back to the ship.
I want to know more about him and why he's there.
He's just like, he just says, well, honestly, I ran away, and this is the first place I found, and I was trying to, I don't, he's like, as you can pretty easily tell, I'm a half-elf, and he says I ran away, and because I was being treated like shit, this is the first place I came to. I took the job thinking I was going to earn some money, learned that I was just an intern, not going to make any money, and started looking for a way out. And then you guys showed up. So,
How's he dressed?
perfect timing. Well, for like most people, but by Elven standards, he's dressed like a bum.
Okay.
So like,
Is he dressed better than us?
Yeah.
Does he have a weapon?
Yeah, he's like, no, he doesn't have a weapon, but he's just like in like, he's dressed well, but it's like his uniform that he had to wear.
Right.
It's nice. It's really nice. Like,
Got
he
an
could probably
apron on.
sell it in some other city for a lot of money, but
Okay. I'm gonna ask him. Does he have any money on him?
no, man, I'm broke as a joke.
Okay.
I'm willing to pay. I'm willing to work. I'll do whatever. I'm not good at anything. I don't know how to do anything, but I'll work.
I'm gonna give him 28 gold, so he's not as broke.
Yeah. Have him go buy a weapon.
Gee, oh, thank you. And you guys have like more. You guys have more weapons than Quakers have fucking oats
Oh,
sitting
that's
in
right,
your
yeah,
arm.
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
guys
that's
have
right.
collected so many fucking little
Yeah.
odds and ends and shit. So you guys definitely got something for him.
He can wear whatever the hell he wants, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah. So he's like, oh, thank you, awesome. You guys are really nice. he was like, I'm not used to
I'm
people
glad you
being
think
nice
so.
to me. And so
Really
he's
nice
like,
to people named Jim.
yeah. And he's like, oh shit, good thing your name's Jim then, huh?
Got him right.
So he's like,
We
he's
had
just
a
like
ball,
happy to
let's
kind of
see.
walk with you guys, and that's when he notices Molly, and he goes, oh wow, you guys got another half elf with you, and he goes, what's your name? And she says, she's Molly, and he like kind of, that's interesting, and you kind of tell like wheels in his head start turning, and then like he just kind of drops it.
I'm gonna roll inside.
Okay.
It's a 19 plus 6.
He's met her before, 100%. 100% he's met her before. She, however, doesn't recognize him, but he recognizes her.
I'm gonna tell him, don't be shy, Jimmy. Anything you haven't said, you can share with the rest of us.
Would you like to share with the class? And he just was like, what? Huh? Sorry? What?
Just looked a little shocked when you saw old Molly here walk up.
He like, you can see he's like scrambling for something, and he's like, oh, I get shy around pretty girls, and he just kind of like fucking like
How does Molly
speeds up to
respond?
the front of the thing. She's just like, and but he just kind of like speed walks up to the front, and he's just like, well, hey, what's your name? He talks to Calico Jack, like, and he's like, oh, hi, what's your name? And like just tries to avoid that question. But yeah, so he's just like walking next to you now, just kind of trying to not be asked that question again.
Last time somebody avoided my questions, they sat in the brig for 2 weeks. So. Molly.
She's like, that ain't no shit. So, we need to find Eric. Just can you?
Yeah, so
okay.
I just found, I'll post it in the, I found a nickname site for Jim, and it's got like 700 different Jim
Ooh,
names.
perfect.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Jimmy Strongest is the fourth on the list. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Jimbo Slice.
Oh, I like that
Jim,
one.
That's
yeah.
good.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe's the new one.
Yeah.
He's He's Zimbabwe.
Yeah, because he kind of wanted to come with us.
Okay.
Zimbabwe.
Jambalaya.
Jambalaya is good too. Yeah. Zimbabwe.
That's pretty good.
I'm gonna step out on the porch real quick and video for a second.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just say that unless there's anything in particular that you guys would like to do, you guys just kind of head back to ship, go acquaint the new gym with the ship and the other gyms, and the other gym's like, well, come on, man. They're like, we'll show you the ropes and stuff like that, and he says, but Jim with a G's like, well, first you got to get out of those digs, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna ruin that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes him below deck, and a few months later, he comes up with just a white cotton tunic on, and just looking like a proper green ass sailor.
Mm-hmm. I'm making eye contact with him, and I'm gonna message him and say, you know her.
He kind of is like, he's just like, shit. He goes, he can send a reply, and he's like,
Did you just taste that, Cameron?
yeah,
Oh.
but I don't think she
Why would I
remembers
taste
me.
it?
I don't know. That's what I was
And
wondering.
he kind of walks over to you, and he's like not even gonna try to lie or anything. He's just like, yeah, she was friends with my older brother, when we were kids. That's probably why she doesn't recognize me. We were never friends or anything.
Okay.
But she was friends with my older brother when we were kids.
Where was this?
What was the name of that fucking? Jeez, fucking Detective
I know,
Harry
yeah.
over
I've
here.
got fucking notes.
Oh, yeah. Where was this?
Detective.
Where were you that night?
Do you have an alibi?
Yeah.
Does anybody else know where you were?
What's the name of that fucking city? I keep forgetting it. Kathir. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name of that fucking city. He's like, Kathir. And he's like actually kind of looks around to make sure she's not around, and he's like, is she heading home? Is that what she's doing?
She said I want you on my face too.
Why do you ask?
Because she's not gonna like what she finds when she gets there. He's like, I don't know. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but last I saw her mom's been in. Her mom's been locked away in the bedroom. I think they know something about her. I don't know what it is, but they know something about her, and they found out. I don't know, but.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him. Yeah, that's where we're heading.
And he's like, okay. He's like, can I stay with the ship? He's like, he's like, I'll do anything. I don't want to go back there.
You gotta earn your trust first.
He's like, he just kind of shakes his head, and he's like, yeah, okay, I can understand that. And he kind of just
Your Captain Jimmy the Great will take care of you.
Yeah.
You gotta earn your trust.
Yeah, so he goes
Put him on
over.
the new ship.
So yeah, he goes over. So Jim with a G gets him set up, and then sends him over to Jimmy the Great. And pretty quickly, Jimmy the Great's fucking has him squatting the deck. You know what I mean? Pretty quickly has him all right, boy, time to earn that belly full of food. And
If anybody will turn him into a true gem, it's
Yeah.
Jimmy the Brave.
yeah,
Right.
so he starts whipping him into shape and shit.
Can
So,
I
yeah.
do an investigation arcana check to make sure he's not disguised?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, good call.
Which one do you want me to?
I would just say Arcana.
That's a 9.
That's a 9. Yeah, you can't tell. You
Awesome.
can't tell.
Is he wearing a necklace?
No, he's not wearing any jewelry
That we can see.
that you can see.
Gyms aren't allowed to wear jewelry.
He's got his nipples pierced.
He's wearing a
He's got-
pattern.
yeah, he's
Illusory
got-
nipple piercings.
Yeah. That's a real freak shit.
Yeah.
That would be a very, you wouldn't guess that to be the piece of jewelry that would be providing the disguise.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe from the streets.
Yeah.
He belongs to the streets. Yeah.
Actually, I have detect magic. Let me just go and use
He's
that.
half elf, half freak.
Yeah.
You're just gonna go ahead and detect magic on
Yeah.
him. Yeah. So he is not. He is not an illusion.
Okay.
He is definitely He's definitely him. Yeah, he's nothing magical on him.
Okay.
None of that. None of that kind of
I'll
stuff.
share that with everybody else.
Yeah.
So your brownies turned out really good. Have you guys tried one?
Actually, I haven't tried one. I was
Oh,
actually about to
they're good.
ask for one.
Who made them?
I don't know.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Cammy don't play around when it comes to brownies.
Oh, shit. These motherfuckers are like soft AF.
So you have or haven't tried one, Kim?
I'm not.
You should.
They're really fucking good.
Thank you.
Like, goddamn.
My stuff I want to torch for a sec too.
Yeah, I might as well do the same real quick.
Just take a moment.
Yeah, take a real quick second. Take a little intermission and then get back to it.
You gonna go smoke too, Eric?
Close.
Damn.
Oh, okay. We're taking a break. I didn't think so, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome, right?
You got a drink I can get from you, Matt?
We've got bottles of water. We got Sprite. Barbecue sauce if you want to throw it to the doctor. Got cold Sprite. Cold one?
You need a water or anything, baby?
Yes, please. Thank you, baby. Huh?
So hopefully this doesn't make my tummy upset.
Come on, baby.
Sometimes Sprite does, sometimes it doesn't.
I think that's all the sugar in that.
I don't know.
Hey there, big boy. You should be bigger than me. Big girl, I mean. What kind of dog is she?
She is a German Shepherd Golden Retriever mix. She's a big baby.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
And Willow is a husky pit bull.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
there, Eric?
Yeah. I'm here.
Sorry, just had to get a little quick, make a scene real quick. Okay.
We literally have so many board games.
So according to this guy, Molly's mom was locked away in a
I
dungeon.
like the circuit.
Yeah, so I imagine you guys back on the ship. Are you guys gonna call like an emergency? You can call like a meeting of the minds, like a
Hola.
council of the.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Couple of Jim.
Yeah.
You know I
Yeah.
don't speak Spanish.
That's about all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got too.
I can ask you where the library might be, but that's about it.
You know what the best phrase to learn in Spanish is? You'd be like, ¿Cómo se dice en español? How do you say this in Spanish?
Oh, yeah.
You
Oh,
know, shit, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's useful as fuck.
Yeah.
That's super useful.
Donde está el baño?
So Perry.
That's right.
Donde está la biblioteca? That's how you ask for the library. I know that.
I'm gonna need a bathroom before I'm gonna need a library.
The library might have a bathroom.
She doesn't feel like she has to be invited.
So Perry has called a council of the gyms, so to speak. And the 5 of you are now in the captain's quarters before you head back into the city to get your enchanted things.
She'll be like, she doesn't know how to keep her tongue.
And
Everything.
so it's Aruk and the 4 of you in the captain's quarter of the Jimmy Changa. Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
Of the Jimmy Chonga.
Yes, you guys are in the captain's quarters of the Jimmy Changa.
Well,
11 for
first
Disney.
off, while we're here, first order of business. Jimmy the Barbarian was my first mate, wasn't he?
No, Jim with a G.
Yeah, he was Jimmy the Barbarian was like you guys' like basically top fighter.
Second mate.
Oh,
Second
okay.
mate, kind of.
Never mind.
At some point, I think one of us needs to make a.
Like a chart.
Organized,
list of
yeah.
duties. Yeah, we.
So I was gonna, because I thought he was the
Hierarchy.
first mate, and so I was gonna
Yeah,
give that
just so
to
we can
her.
like keep straight, especially on the second ship.
I've got it written down.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Jim with the G is still you guys' first mate. He's got a good rapport with the crew and everything else like that. And Jimmy the Great is now the captain, and he picked that wood elf girl to be his first mate, to be his like liaison to the crew.
Wait. What the fuck are you doing?
He's like,
She is
I wanna
such
play.
a good girl.
Give me a character sheet.
So eat a D20.
So
Pick it out, roll an at 20.
yeah, so
Dude, she will. Dude, she tried to eat like trim nails last time I was in.
so yeah, and Perry has something also he wants to talk to the party about.
Yeah, so I think first thing, I want to call Molly in here so that she can
Oh yeah.
Okay.
clean her slate with the.
Okay. Yeah. So
Party.
she,
We don't
you,
have the new kid in there, do we?
No, it's just the party.
yeah. So you guys call Molly into the room, and she kind of like walks in to see you guys kind of standing around in a half circle looking at her, and she's like, "Look," but she closes the door behind her, and she like kind of walks up with her hands kind of like clasped in front of her, and is like, "Yeah, what can I do for you?"
Intervention.
I look at her and I say, it's time to tell them.
Okay. So she reaches back and takes her necklace off, and as the necklace unsnaps and removes from her neck, her appearance just like a, and yeah, and standing before you is she's like she has like a lavender colored skin, bright red hair, bright green eyes, and big curling ram's horns, and she is very obviously not a half-elf and is actually a tiefling. She begins to then explain her family history, explain everything I said earlier about her mother and her father only knowing his first name and having an old picture of him when he was young, which she shows to all of you guys. Aru everybody, including Aruk, you're even if you nat 20 this shit, I highly doubt you're gonna recognize him. So, because you weren't part of this.
Yeah, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
Party encountered this individual. But so the rest of you, the other three of you, go ahead and make a perception check as she shows you this picture.
Ooh,
22.
14.
20. Wait, perception?
Yeah.
25.
25.
8.
8. So Calico Jack and Captain, you don't recognize him, but at the second
I'm
glance,
drinking at the moment.
then can you recognize him? And you got the closest to him and had the most direct interaction with him immediately. As you look at this picture, it clicks,
Yep.
and it's the Pirate King. And you realize that her father is the Pirate King. She doesn't know this. All she knows, but now you have his first name.
Yeah.
His first name is Amon. Amon.
Didn't he challenge us or something to figure out?
He whooped my ass.
Yeah, he fucking stabbed
Almost
the
killed me.
shit out of Perry. He did
Almost
kill
killed
you. Like, not perma-killed, but he...
killed me.
Yeah, almost,
I was like
exactly.
2
Almost
HP away,
perma-killed, yeah. So, because he dropped you, like, significantly below 0.
Yeah.
Stabbed you through the
Did he
chest.
challenge us to like figure
As he
out
tried to
his
chase him
name
up
or
onto his
something,
ship.
I don't know. I'll have to look at my notes.
So
online.
that
was
means
it?
she would be married to, or she would be related to
Red.
Captain Red as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Red would be basically, like, her cousin. And,
You mean uncle or cousin? Yeah,
Yeah.
cousin, right? Yeah.
Didn't the Pirate King challenge us to like figure out who he was?
Not directly. He kind of told you who he was in the sense that he told you. So when he took Red and he showed up on you guys in the middle of that shitstorm and he took Red, he tried to talk to you guys, but you guys weren't having it, and you guys were, despite the fact that he was trying to engage with you guys fought him.
Yeah.
And so the only real things that he told you was it didn't have to be this way. That was the last thing he said to you before he fucking stabbed you in the chest.
Yeah.
and then basically kicked rocks, and deuced the fuck up out of there. So, and then the other thing that he said was that he was Red's uncle, and that he had been looking for him.
Right, yeah.
And that he had been looking for him. But those are the only bits of information that you got from the Pirate King.
Okay.
Are you going to reveal to her who her father is? That you know him, that you've encountered him?
Not yet.
Okay.
Might be a party gift for her.
Okay.
Does she realize it?
She can roll insight too. So
Can I roll deception
and you guys-
against her insight?
you can roll insight to her insight if you want to see if she can tell.
Is she gonna roll insight
But you
to
guys are-
insight to her insight?
16.
16 would
17.
you both can tell that she knows you're hiding something.
Alright.
And she
I don't want to hide it.
as she kind of
Yeah,
as she
you're
realizes
right.
this, she looks over at you and
Trust
kind of
us.
gives you like a
Yeah. All right.
Tell
you
her.
said
Yeah,
trust
I'm gonna tell her.
motherfucker.
So yeah, you're right. You're right.
Open this fucking cave.
So-
you better tell me what's going on.
I'm gonna make this real fucking dramatic too. I'm gonna bare my chest, show the scar, and I'm gonna say,
Yeah, you got a pretty gnarly one
yeah.
from it.
we've encountered your father.
She's like there's a little bit of shock, but also kind of like and then when she realizes that you're showing like that he fucked you up, then she's like she kind of you see like a moment of realization goes across her face before she says what happened.
So we were off the Sword Coast, and it was, I believe it was just before we had met you recognize him from our colors when we fly him.
We fly tiefling colors.
Yeah,
so
we fly.
Yeah, she's now starting to like. You see, like she's starting to put that together. Like she had always been curious about it, but was kind of scared to ask, and so then was like, "Oh shit, okay."
We encountered a tiefling man that goes by the name the Pirate King. He's Red's uncle. Red had a sickness brought upon him that we couldn't cure, and the Pirate King claims to have been able to save him. We believe that he's your father.
She like you see, she was like, "That's a whole lot to take in." Like, not only is her dad a pirate, not only is he calling himself or potentially is the king of pirates. On top of that, she finds out that she has more family out there, and that not only that, but they were so close. Like they were so close, and she was so close to them, and didn't encounter them. But and then also just like the holy shit, like fate's a motherfucker. Kind of all of that washes over her face, and she's just kind of like. So, is that what you guys are planning? Are you planning to go after your captain? Your old captain?
Eventually, yeah.
That's our long-term goal.
She's like, did he say where he was taking him?
I don't think so.
I think he did. I thought he said he was taking him to that island. We could find him in that bay.
It sounds vaguely familiar,
What?
but I don't remember.
She's like, an island? What island?
I'm gonna pull out my map.
Okay. Pull out the complete map.
Okay.
Yeah. So you pull out your big map and you lay it out across Zezel's desk, and she begins like looking over it. Imagine you point to the island, and then she starts looking at it. She's looking weird, and she's like looking down around the coast, and she finds Kathir, and then she finds this calzone, and she's like, so we're here.
We got a ways to go.
Yeah. She's like, yeah. And she's like, you could tell she's weighing, like, now she's torn. Does she
Wants to stay.
Yeah, does she want to stay with you guys to try to find her dad instead of going to try to find her mother? Because remember, she doesn't know that her mother's in any kind of peril. And so this is like, do I want to try to reunite with my mother or try to find my father that I've never met? And now, so you could definitely tell she's at
Should I
war
go
with
ahead and
herself
tell her
right
that I
now.
know where her mother is?
Trust.
If we do, we're gonna have to go get her first because I feel like she's gonna go.
We're going there anyways. I mean.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna tell her. I can tell that she's kind of weighing her options and say, look, I know that you're feeling torn between your mother and your father right now, but I do have some information on your mother as well.
We're gonna go.
she kind of like looks at you like with a, well, please tell me, and also how the fuck did you get information about my mother? So she's like, how? Like, what's the news?
She's alive.
Okay. I like where this is going.
She is. She's been kept locked up for at least a few years now in a dungeon in Kathir.
Well, you see, she's like, close her eyes, and she's like, oh shit, they must have found out. They must know. It's the only thing I can think of. But then again, my mother is very powerful, and there may be something else entirely. I can't go in there assuming. She's like, I have to go rescue her. I have to go find her. But like, she's just kind of like, she's like, I can't assume that they know. But at the same time, what the fuck else could it be? So she's definitely like weighing her options and trying to figure out what the fuck she wants to do, and like what what the hell she can do. And she's like, I have to rescue her. I can't ask you guys to help me any more than you already have, but can't do it alone. And so she's kind of like, just kind of sitting there like.
I'm gonna go at the party and feel out what they're thinking.
Well, I think now our
I think we
destinies
help her.
have kind of collided now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, our interests are aligned,
Yeah.
so it's
And
gonna be
it's-
mutually beneficial to save her.
Yep.
She kind of nods. She says, I can't thank you enough. What I can say is that hopefully, if we can rescue my mother, if she's well and they haven't harmed her too badly, from what I remember of her, she was always very skilled with magic. She was a very, very powerful magical practitioner. So that could potentially help. That could potentially help the party. So she doesn't say the party, but she says that could help.
Us.
It could help you guys, and so maybe we can repay this favor somehow, kind of.
She willing to change her name to Jen?
She's like, I don't know if I don't know that I could believably go by Jim, but she does get a laugh out of that, and she says,
What about Jen?
while we're on, and she kind of chuckles. She's like, while we're on this, can I ask, like, while we're kind of like airing things out, this is something I've always been curious about. Why is everyone here named? Why are all the crew members
Don't
named
ask
Jim?
questions you don't have the answers to.
she kind of looks at you like almost terrified, like, what the fuck does that mean? She's just like looking at Calico Jack, like she's already a little sketched out by Calico Jack just on foundation because she's never seen a part fish, part person before. So she's trying. So there's always the obvious, like, which one of his parents is a fish fucker, and then there's also and then there's also the fact that you have two peg legs too, which is definitely can be unsettling, and especially when you up behind somebody. So
I'm just gonna say it's part of a protection ritual.
She's like, okay, all right, fair enough. And she says, well, so what was Red like? And she like looks around and like, what was he like? I didn't know I had a cousin.
He was charismatic, bold.
Okay.
He was very fond of the loot. I believe
That's
at
kinda
one.
where I get my fondness for it.
I believe at one time he had 3 loots.
Oh, I thought you meant loot as in like
I thought that's what he
things.
meant.
You mean like the instrument?
Yes.
Oh, okay. He had 3 of them.
At one point, yeah.
We still have one, don't we?
What
Yeah.
happened? What happened to the loots?
We still have one. The other 2 got destroyed.
I think at
He likes to
least
use them
one
as
were
weapons.
used as weapons.
She's like, okay.
Always had a
Alright.
song in his heart.
Oh, okay. All right. And she kind of looks over at Aruk, who's been quiet this time. She's like, she asks if you knew her. You knew her cousin. If you knew Red. Aruk, are you there?
Yeah,
Did we lose him?
I feel like I'm pretty lucky though.
Eric.
But while we're waiting on Eric, let's see what's going on. Trying to see if it's flashing green at all.
It's not.
But anyways, yeah. So you guys are. She is just kind of like trying to wrap her head around all that kind of shit. But she says, "Okay, so what's next? Do we get our stuff and get the hell out of here?
Yep.
And she's like, also, can someone teach me to fight, please? Like, she's like, I could really.
Yeah, I'll teach you.
There
Okay.
we go.
Yeah, so she looks up at Aruk, who ignored her a moment ago. Was like, he was like, oh, you're awake.
As soon as you make
Hi.
a fighting, it just
No.
beams.
No, she says, I would really appreciate that. And then she looks at you and she goes, did you know my cousin Red? Or are you a new addition to the crew as well?
I don't think Aruk would know Red.
No, you came in after, yeah. So yeah, she's just curious if you were also a new addition to the party or what the hell's going on. She's trying to figure
I
out.
would be like, yes, I ran into them in Almsraven.
Oh, so you're a pretty recent addition. And I thought you guys, the way you guys work together, I thought you guys had been together longer than that. But she says,
We have it, Heart.
she says, well, if there's nothing else that
I just found that they like me for my good looks. Wink.
She gets a chuckle out of that, and she says, well, I guess I'm gonna get back to it. She's like, whenever you guys go back into the city, then I'll go, and then if not, then I'm gonna go kind of process and digest this a little bit.
I do have a cloak of billowing with your name on it.
She's like, in that case. So you guys, I'll say you guys, enough time has passed. If there's nothing else you guys have to discuss at you guys' roundtable
I don't
conference,
think so.
and you guys make your way off of the ship and back into the city. Let's say it's going to be starting to get dark soon. And probably within the next few minutes. And so you guys make your way into the city and back to the little magical shop. And as you guys walk in, the old man's sitting there, and he's got your cloaks laid across the counter, and he's got your hat feather sitting on like a little velvet tray that he's got that you put like jewelry or something on. He's got
Extra
it
bougie.
laying there. Yeah, oh yeah, super. It's got like fucking gold threading stitched around it and stuff. And he says, alrighty, everything worked perfectly, everything went great. I think you guys are gonna be very happy with them.
I say we all billow at him.
Yeah, so you guys don all of your cloaks. The Fellowship of Billowing.
Yeah.
Don all of your cloaks. And the six of you are standing in the middle of this thing, and as soon as you put them on, they all activate, and so it's like it's almost deafening in here. All the cloaks fucking just fabric flapping against you guys. Cloaks are like hitting each other's cloaks and shit. So it's like there's like the sound of like fucking cloth and shit slapping each other. It's quite loud and audacious, and the elven proprietor gets a little bit of a chuckle out of it, and he says, "Well, I'm glad you're happy." He goes, "Try the feather," and so you pick the feather up, and
I say, try getting some better clothes, and then I walk out.
he's like.
Bill as I walk out the door.
As you walk out, like all he sees for like
Finger
the lights.
guns. Yeah,
Finger guns. And like, so the door opens in, and so the door's like this as you walk out, and so you walk out, and then it's just cloak.
Yeah.
It's like 1/3 you, and then 2/3 cloak.
I stand there and just let it go for a minute, yes, and then leave.
And so he looks like he's just like that motherfucker.
Fucking water breathers.
Instead of like he was gonna gingerly like hand you this feather, instead he just tosses the feather at you. But as it kind of like starts doing like this over towards you, and as it does, like as it lands in front of you, and you like stick your hand out, and then it like lays in your hand, and all of a sudden it spins around a couple times, and then the point of the feather, not the like the feathery part, like the stem of the feather, and points directly at the ship.
Nice.
So And so again, you like spin around and stuff, and it stays pointing directly at the ship, hovering just above your hand. And you fucking tuck it right into your hat, and yeah. He's just like,
Yeah.
so he
That's a
comes
really
out
good
from
idea.
around the
Just popped into my head. I was like, oh, that's genius.
That is smart, dude. That's a really good idea. He comes around the counter and he's like, all right, now, all right, everybody, get the fuck out. And he just like fucking shoos you guys out and then fucking closes and locks the door behind you guys. And as you guys kind of look back, you can see him like fucking mean mugging you guys out the window. You guys are in the city. It's dark now. You can see the moon's kind of bright and shining. You guys just head back to the ship. Okay. All right. So you guys make it back to the ship and imagine you get some rest and then leave out first thing in the morning.
Yep.
With first light.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the party beds down for the evening. Gets a long rest. So you guys are all fully fucking.
Personally, like I have
800.
Okay, see, that's what I was closer to. 800.
I spent a bunch on those casks of ale in the last town.
About 2,500.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
You did.
Yeah, that's about what I had I had 2,700 until I spent 1,000 on the feather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got. I'm not gonna say I'm poor. I'm not poor. I have 800 gold. But
Yeah.
None of us.
relatively
are.
speaking.
Yeah.
Even if one of us goes broke, we got ship money we can dip into.
Yeah. So you guys make your way back to the ship, take a long rest, wake up first light. As you guys are.
Did those widows end up cutting up that whale for us?
Yeah. So throughout the day, as they were anchored out in the bay.
Hold on, they left.
Yeah, they were anchored out in the bay.
So how are we gonna go back to the ship?
No,
they
one ship left and anchored out in the bay, and the other ship stayed.
Okay.
And so, they spent their whole day. They processed up that whale. There's now a big floating carcass and skeleton that they've cut loose from behind the ship, with a bunch of different fish feeding on it. Shit, occasionally sharks will come up and take a nibble. They've processed a bunch of it, and it's all been salted and everything else like that. And actually, you see a couple of them on the deck, and they've got a big cook pot out, and they're fucking rendering down the fucking blubber and stuff like that, rendering the fat down and everything. So you guys, like I said, you guys set
Blubber
sail.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So
Oh my God.
also whale blubber and shit
Unlock the
is
core memory.
Yeah.
is super fucking like useful for all kinds of stuff. It's super flammable, all kinds of shit. So, but anyways, yeah. So they processed that whale up,
Sorry.
and yeah. So you guys set sail first thing in the morning. If there's nothing else you guys
Fairly
like to do.
Fairly left
Yeah.
Dimmadome.
Yeah.
Oh no, Dimsdale Dimmadome.
If there's anything else you guys want to do in the city, you guys leave out first thing in the morning at first light. They've dropped off all your supplies that afternoon while you guys were out. The gyms took care of it. So you guys are stocked up for enough. You'll have to transfer obviously some shit from you guys' ship over to the Jimi Hendrix, and then you guys will.
How much food did we get from the whale?
Oh shit, man! You guys got like.
You said it's a sperm whale, right?
I'll just say in like terms of you guys probably have
The weight of a sperm whale.
3 months or more of meat
Okay.
for
Yeah,
your
I was gonna
for
say
40
it is,
people,
yeah.
just purely of meat. Like you'll still need other supplies, but just of meat, you guys have it. But you are running a little lower on salt now because you took quite a bit of salt.
Yeah.
So, but you guys don't really need any more salt unless you're gonna be fucking unless you guys are gonna be killing any more fish.
We'll need to for a while.
You guys leave the port of
Hello.
Hurrah.
Hero.
Did you guys fucking just? What the hell happened?
Discord
Go ahead and reopen.
just decided to just boot your ass for some reason, I guess. We're still talking, so I guess it just minimized?
Yeah, it'll do that. I've done that a couple times accidentally.
Huh. That's weird.
Oh, okay.
All right, how's that?
That's good.
Okay, All right. So yeah, you guys make your way out to sea.
Get stopped recording.
It didn't.
I didn't.
No, I checked. I got a remote on my phone.
So let me pull up the map really quick. Because we're gonna do a little bit of a
What are you using? Streaming live?
jump.
We can pull it up on the Discord.
Oh, that's fine. So yeah, you guys are right over here.
Attention.
So yeah, there is one place you guys could stop if you wanted to before you get into Kathir, unless you guys just want to head straight towards Kathir.
I think we're good.
I think we're good to just.
Yeah, you got enough. You got more than enough. It's only going to take you guys about 3 weeks to get to Kathir.
Okay.
So it's not going to be like, it's not going to. You guys are having more than enough
Like 3 months of
supplies.
supplies,
Yeah. It's not. You guys plenty of supplies. The only thing you guys may run out of that you may want to restock would probably be alcohol. That'd be the only thing you guys might be out of.
Even with like 5 casks of.
Well, yeah, but
Ale.
if you're that depends on who you're letting enjoy those 5 casks of ale. If you're letting everybody enjoy them, and you got Calico Jack, and then also after all the revelations of all the information she learned today, she was down there sampling some herself. Molly
Okay.
was. So,
That's fair. Okay.
so you guys may want to get some more ale or whatever alcohol you guys want once you get into Kathir. So yeah, so I'll say some time passes. Is there anything in particular that you guys would like to be doing?
I want to keep working on my infernal.
Yeah, I will say you're about close to a month of taking lessons from Molly, and with her teaching you infernal, and your just ability, like your knack with like keeping notes and writing things down and stuff like that, and charting things out. Just your kind of the way your mind works, it's not too difficult. Go ahead and let's roll me a percentage die. The D10 yeah. So you got a 3, right?
Yep.
Okay.
God damn.
3 out of 100. Okay, so let's do that 3 more times.
Okay.
41.
44. 39.
Okay, and one more time.
12.
Okay. So yeah, you do pretty good. I won't say that you're proficient in speaking infernal. But I'll say this. I'll say you focused more on reading and writing. You can't
That was my
speak.
concern, really.
Yeah, you cannot speak infernal. You can say a few words here and there, but it's gonna sound like
Can I
somebody.
understand it when it's spoken?
I would say you can understand about 80%
Okay.
of what you know what I mean
Yeah.
of what's spoken. Like there's gonna be
Okay.
some words you're gonna fuck. What do you say?
So I just put
But-
read and write.
Yeah. So, but you have a much better understanding, and you can absolutely read and write infernal now. So, all right. So yeah, you guys. If there's nothing else that you guys, as individuals, would like to be doing, Calico Jack, is there anything that you think what would Calico Jack be doing for 3 weeks at sea besides drinking? Besides drinking up all of Perry's.
He'd probably
Dragon's
be
blood.
hassling the crew and
Okay.
helping him, of course. And
Razzing the gyms and just doing daily chores and stuff like that. What would he do in his free time? Just kind of hanging out, drinking a little bit, and maybe just.
in his free time, he'll probably like carve pipes or something like that. Or, like
Ooh.
Okay.
That's cool.
Hell yeah!
Carve
So
legs.
all right, so go ahead and roll. Let me
Does that mean your
see.
peg legs are like ornately carved?
Not yet.
Not
I'm
yet.
practicing.
Yeah.
Turn
All right.
into
You know
a
what?
fight.
Let's say you've been doing that for a while. Let's do.
Dexterity, maybe?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking. Yeah, let's just do dexterity. Let's just do a flat-out dexterity saving throw.
12.
12. All right, let's do 1 per week for the last, let's say, couple of weeks. So let's do 4 more.
12.
12. All right. No improvement.
14.
14. Oh shit, nice.
20.
20, 30, 20. All right, last one.
7.
7. Okay.
What?
All right, so I'll say that yeah, you've been practicing. You've had a couple of blunders. You had a couple that didn't turn out the way you want, but you've carved some pretty cool stuff. That you got one that you really, really, really like, and you think you're starting to really get the hang of it. That 20, that dirty 20 that you got. What would you want it to be? A pipe, a figure, a statue? Like what would it be? That
It'd be a
dirty
pipe.
20. Dirty
Yeah.
20. Yeah. So you carved like this, like
Gandalf
super
pipe.
fucking dope Gandalf pipe, like super long stem, and you like. There's like scrimshaw in it and stuff. There's like a depiction of like a fucking like the party like stabbing a whale on it, and you know what I mean, like all around the pipe and everything.
All
and
our war crimes.
yeah, you're really fucking proud of that pipe. And so you think to yourself, all right, next time we're in the fucking port, I'm getting some fucking pipe tobacco, so I can use this bad motherfucker. So anyways, what about Aruk? What would Aruk be doing? Would you still be praying to Calypso? Kind of just focusing on that?
Yeah, I'd be praying to Calypso and like focusing, like trying to channel through my like I took that trident physically from that realm.
Yeah, so using that as like your focus. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll say that for a time, while you're at first, as you're praying to Calypso, you don't really feel anything. You don't get anything back. But as time passes, you start to, when you pray to Calypso, you start to feel like a peace come over you a little bit, and you can definitely like especially late at night when you're out, like especially if you go out on the deck of the ship and you're close to the water. The closer you are to the water, the more you actually feel that feeling. Especially, and also too, especially when the moon is full. You start to feel yourself building a connection with Calypso. So, and then Venkin, is there anything that Venkin would be doing in particular besides just training?
And then also helping out with the wood elves and their training.
Okay, yeah. So you, I'll say that you start to really get some progression going on in your training, but.
I just want to see you.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Just wanted to check. Thanks for opening the door, bro. But no, you're starting to really get the hang of it, and you're starting to really like understand it more, and you're starting to feel yourself being able to tap into a little bit of that energy.
Yeah, maybe.
Just
let him off back. Yeah.
What about you, Captain?
That door right there.
Be anything in particular you'd be doing?
Driving.
You're just fucking
Just sailing, building rapport with the gyms.
Gotcha.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
Drinking with Calico.
Word. Okay.
Captain
Having
said it.
some fucking late night drunk
I'd also be
conversations.
making a copy of the world map for the Jimi Hendrix.
There's really nothing I could do. Like, I don't have anything where I could like build or like. I mean, I guess if I really wanted to like do something extravagant, I could be like down the bottom of the ship, like carving out our stories in thieves' cant in the fucking walls.
That's kind of cool.
Like
That's
a manuscript or something.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. So.
Let's just say we're doing that too.
Okay. Yeah. So
That's
when
really
you're
cool.
whenever free time you have, you're spending it like down in like the cargo hold, and you started on one of the pillars, and then you ran out of room on one of the pillars, so you moved to another pillar. And over the course of the last few weeks, you have been basically inscribing everything that's happened from the moment you guys met Red and this whole entire journey, just kind of the story of you guys
Really cool.
as you guys, and you're not done yet. I'll say you're like at the point where you're talking about like you're at the point where you're talking about the first time you saw Callumsport and how massive the city was. And as the party, had never been in a city that massive, even larger than Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
It's massive. And so, but anyways, so yeah, you spend some time doing that, and you spend your time between your learning Infernal and everything, also creating a copy of the map for the Jimi Hendrix. So I'll say about 3 weeks pass. You guys, are doing your own things, and then one day you guys are off in the distance. You begin to see you getting closer to land, and you see the outline of this massive city of Kathir. As you begin to draw near, it's this large, sprawling city with massive walls. It reminds you of Baldur's Gate in that sense. You've got these massive walls, and in the center of the city is a large, like, you don't know what's function it serves necessarily, but it looks like a wizard's tower, like you would see, but it's this massive spire that stretches towards the heavens in the center of this massive city. And yeah, so as you guys are sailing into Kathir, you notice that you see, first off, there are an absolute fuck ton of ships and a ton of military ships. So as you guys are getting into Kathir, you can see that many of these ships there's an absolute shitload of ships, and many of them are military ships. They're military vessels. It looks to be the Navy of Kathir. And enough ships for thousands of men. And some are out at sea. And as you guys begin to enter into the close area water of this city, into the bay, because if you look at the map, Kathir is kind of situated where a river goes inland, and so it's this big large bay kind of chokes down to where this river, just the mouth of this river, where it rushes into the sea. And as you guys begin to enter into this bay area, you notice that a ship kind of breaks off from this other cluster of ships, and as you guys are coming in, and seems to be looking like it's escorting you into the harbor. And it kind of, like, you don't hear any like communication from the other ship until you guys start getting into where you might dock at, and but before you get there, you hear a voice shouting down from you. Looks to be some kind of elven soldier, dressed very ornately, gold armor. I mean, this shit, like, this fucking armor could buy this armor could buy your ship. You know what I mean? This is some crazy fucking armor. He says, drop your anchor here. We will ferry you into the city.
Drop an anchor. Yeah.
So you guys drop your anchor, and he shouts up to lower the gangplank, and fucking you guys lower the gangplank, and the gems lower the gangplank, and he walks with two others behind him. He walks up on board, and he says, "Hello there. What business do you have in Kathir?"
We're here to see a friend.
Kind of looks around at you, and he's like, I don't, roll deception.
We're not trying to deceive him, are we?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of true.
I guess from a certain point of view it is true, but you are kind of, okay, let me see here. Then
I think he's saying you're withholding.
I'll do deception, that's fine. 15.
15, okay. So he's like, okay. He says, he kind of looks around at you like, not many people in Kathir would have friends such as you.
Whoa.
He kind of looks at you and he goes, "Come on, you know exactly what that means." And he kind of like, then he looks at you and then he looks at Aruk. And you see like this half orc next to you, and he just kind of looks.
I know.
And then he kind of looks at, he turns around and looks at the city, and he's like, "Yeah."
I'll tell him. I'll be like, if we're truly candid, it's actually a friend of our friend Molly here, and I kind of gesture to Molly.
And he looks and sees the first, and he sees her, and he kind of, okay, what's your name? And she, Molly, and he says, who do you want to see? And she's just like, kind of serious. She kind of like almost flounders for a second. She's like, I'm just here to see my mother. And he says, well, who's your mother? And she gives off some name you guys have never heard before. And he goes, last name? And she rattles off some name you guys have never heard before.
Generic elf name.
Yeah. And he goes, okay, all right. And so he's like, well, we will ferry you guys into the city.
What does ferry you into the city?
That means you leave your ship here, you aboard my ship, and I take you into the city.
What of our ship?
Your ship will stay here. You can leave whoever you want behind with it. Your ship will stay here.
We're in the city where that dungeon is. So
yeah, the party's probably gonna need you. So, but both ships stay.
Farouk.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a rook. You're gonna need a bruiser. You're gonna need a fucking somebody who can bring the whack.
I
So
moved the whole couch.
yeah.
well, easy.
Is the Jimi Hendrix with us?
It's okay. That's okay.
Do they seem like they're gonna have any interest in searching our ship after we leave it?
You can ask him, but
I'm not gonna ask him.
he doesn't. He
Check
doesn't
out
see.
my show,
He doesn't
I'm
giving you. He's not giving you any hint that he's gonna mess with your ship. This is more of a. We don't want your ship to get too close to the city, opposed to we're trying to isolate your ship so we can fuck with your ship.
Are there other ships around where we're parked
You
at?
can see that there are the only ships that you can see that are not Elven. There's only two, and both of them are also. You can see that they're also anchored off of the water, off of the dock somewhere, up out into the bay.
Are they going
And it looks
to
like
have somebody watching the ship? That way, others on other ships aren't gonna fuck with them.
I mean, he kind of looks around and he's like, "There's thousands of us in this bay. Nobody's gonna mess with your ship." And he's like, "To be honest with you, he's like, I don't mean any offense by this. He's like, but there's probably nothing on your ship we want. There's nothing on your ship valuable enough for one of us to stoop low enough to
Fair.
steal something." He's like, you know, I mean, he's a haughty ass elf.
We're about to
He's,
put
you know what I mean?
What else in that chest of holding?
Yo, boys, hop in.
Yeah.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Alright, so
So-
I'm just gonna look at Jim with a G and be like, alright, guard her with your life.
Okay. He says, he kind of fucking snaps you a crispy ass salute, and he's like, aye, aye, Captain. With me life. And, you guys all board onto this elven ship. Molly, the five of you, and you guys
Should we
board.
bring Zimbabwe with us since he knows about this place?
Yes.
I think that's okay.
That's okay. So you guys grab Zimbabwe, and he kind of like looks at you when you come to get him. And he's like, man, and he's like, dude, please don't make me go in there. And you're like, sorry, bitch. Your name's Zimbabwe now.
Yeah,
Your
right.
old life
Oh,
is
no.
gone. You're a Jim, and you will do as Jims are told. And he's like, all right. So you guys grab Zimbabwe.
I will tell him, we promise you we will not leave you here. You will be
Please,
coming back
thank
with
you,
us, but
thank
you have to travel with us.
He hasn't been promoted to Jimmy first class yet.
Yeah.
So.
So, he boards with you guys. You guys all enter this elven ship, and the worst thing about how hoity the elves are about how nice their shit is that they're not wrong. Their shit's really fucking nice, and you guys were like, I mean, you guys have thought you guys were shitting in tall cotton with you guys' new ship, and you're like, man, this motherfucking thing's got like I mean everything, even like. You go in there and like in the captain's quarters, and instead of have it like, or not in the captain's quarters, but as you go on deck and you go down onto the main holding area, instead of like, you know, basically just being this big open area and stuff, there's like the cargo hold isn't even like visible. There's like a fucking like gorgeous like dining area and shit with like a table. You're just like, these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You're like, god damn.
We're sitting on
So,
barrels eating.
yeah, and so you guys, it takes a little while. You guys get into port, and he once again he gives you a piece of paper and he says, "Return by nightfall. We will ferry you back to your ship. No outsiders in the city after dark." And so he gives you your paper and you guys make your way into the city.
What if we plan on staying longer than a day? Same kind of thing. He says if you want to stay longer than a day, you'll have to have someone that will sponsor to put you up for the night. There are no inns for your kind here.
Dang.
He's just like, he didn't mean that as like any one of you guys is kind of particular. He just means like all y'all. Yeah, not else. And he says he says you have to have someone to sponsor to put you up for the evening, and you'll also have to clear it and get a pass from the captain.
Oh, I am the captain.
And he goes, not our captain. And
I'm the captain now.
and he says,
we can take this shit.
he also says one last piece of advice, gentlemen. He says, outsiders don't have any rights in Kathir, so don't do anything illegal because you're not going to be treated. He says you're not going to be given any kind of special or preferential treatment. You will not be extradited to your nations or anywhere else. You will face Kathiri justice. So I highly recommend.
When he says no rights,
Yeah,
we have the potential to be like sold into slavery.
I was gonna say, do we have different water fountains?
He kind of cracks a little bit of a smile and he was like, "No, I doubt you will be sold into slavery."
Doubt. Hold on.
Listen. He said you will not be sold into slavery.
Can I get a piece of paper?
And he says the piece of paper I've already given you will prevent that.
Give me your
He says,
socks.
however, your socks, bro. So he says, no. He says, just do not do anything illegal because you will not be given any leniency whatsoever.
Right.
And yeah, he says that you will not receive a trial. You will not be able to speak on your behalf. If you're caught doing anything, you will be summarily executed.
Okay.
You have been warned. And he says, now enjoy your stay in Kathir. And he fucking basically like, right back up in there, fucking pulls the gangplank up, and he's like, all right, bitches, move out. Like, leaves you guys standing there on the docks.
So what does he say about the slaver ship then?
Huh?
He didn't say anything.
It doesn't seem like he cares about him.
He didn't say anything about it. He didn't notice any. He boarded the Chimichanga. He did not board the other ship. So.
I want to do some kind of roll to see if I can determine what kind of magic is used on this slip of paper. And
oh yeah, absolutely. You can. Do you have detect magic?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can just use detect magic on it. That'll tell you.
Magical PGPC.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and cast.
It's basically like.
Kind of like a ward.
Yeah, like so. Essentially, what it is more than anything is it's kind of like prestidigitation a little bit. It's just a little symbol that's kind of made on there. Basically, it's like an official seal and sort of thing. But it does have like almost like a. It's hard to describe. It's hard to articulate. It's almost like it's a little personalized, and it's like his particular essence of the magic on there.
Okay.
That can't be faked.
And so that also determines length of stay, correct? Okay. Would I be able to alter it to like maybe extend our length of stay past what he had approved?
You could try. I'd let you try.
Can we?
I'd let you try for that. It would be something you'd have to like sit down at a table and you know what I mean, get yourself set up and try to. But yes, I'd absolutely let you try.
How about we just ask him, since we don't know exactly where this person is, it's just safe to assume that we may have to go to
we kind of
the city,
do.
so.
I mean, I know that they're locked in a dungeon, and I'm assuming that it's by this government.
Zimbabwe knows where.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that we know that, right?
The guard?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't know.
So, like, yeah, since we don't know where they're at, why don't we just go and ask for, we have no idea where they're at. Like, no inkling to know where the person we're looking for is.
Zimbabwe.
So we
knows.
need,
Yeah, Zimbabwe probably knows.
but the card doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So I'm saying ask the guard for more time because we don't.
Yeah, we'll probably have to pay out the ass for that, though.
Yeah. Well, also too, if you think about this, if you tell this guy that you don't know how how to find this person that you're looking for. He's gonna be like, wait, how do you not know where your mom lives? You know what I mean? And so he may become suspicious.
So what kind of roll would I have to do for this? The Arcana?
Yeah, that would 100% be Arcana.
I'll give you guidance if you want.
Let's just wait.
I think it's a
Yeah, this is not gonna be something you're gonna be able to do.
Yeah.
Currently,
That's fine.
yes.
And I'll cast guidance on myself.
Because it's also
too, so
dangerous
I'll
in the sense
do
that
physical
if we get
use.
caught early
And I already
with
get
a
a
fake
+5, so.
permit, we're all going to jail.
Yeah.
So
I mean, with
we can
guidance,
always ask for another permit
that's
at
true.
nighttime
Yeah.
if we don't find her.
With guidance, I get a D4 added to my roll, and then I have a +5, and he can cast guidance as well. So I'll get 2D4 +5
I think Michael can too if you want to.
if he has it.
Leave
Yeah.
anal, right?
He's just everybody casting guidance.
Just make it.
I don't know if he carried it, but I know paladins have that option.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So you guys, I guess you guys are gonna make your way into the city from the docks.
What
yeah.
do we want to tell the
me.
Jimi Hendrix to do?
Jimi Hendrix just kind of like, I imagine before you guys left, you kind of told them to just kind of hang out.
Maybe do some fishing.
Yeah, something like that.
I just didn't know if they got found out to be a bunch of wood elves on the sleeper ship how that would turn out while we were gone.
We could put him in the chest of holding.
I mean, you're close enough. I'd say you could send a message.
I'm gonna let Captain Jimmy know, like, if shit starts to get hairy,
Just put them all in the chest.
put them all in the chest.
Okay. He's
Clown
like,
car, bitches.
I gotcha. So yeah, you guys get that taken care of, and you guys begin to make your way into the city. Are you going to ask Zimbabwe if if he has any inkling of where to go? Yeah. Okay. So so you guys kind of make your way into the city, kind of get past. You find a place where you guys can kind of like talk, where there's not guards within earshot and stuff like that, because they're fucking everywhere. He says, so if I had to guess, she's probably in the main dungeon that's underneath that. And he looks right up at the spire. And he's like, that's where the Emperor lives. It's the Emperor's palace. So I imagine that's where she is. So the only way to get in there is to be caught by the royal guard.
The only way.
It's the only way I know of. The way to get in there is to be caught by the royal guard.
Okay.
In London.
If we can find some kind of thieves guild maybe or
I
something.
was gonna say that, or some homeless people.
Well, there's not going to be a thieves guild that's going to be able to openly, you know what I mean? But if you
We
can
have a
find some
rogue.
other thieves,
Do have
exactly, yeah. If you can find some other thieves, you might be able to find some way of getting in here.
So I imagine.
Would he know?
He says there's not very many places that are safe for that kind of folk around here, but there is one place that I can think of, and where there's some, less than above board types. He's following, and you guys walk through the city for probably 30 minutes, walking through this fucking city, and you're getting to the point where you're like, Jesus, where the fuck are we going? And eventually, you come to this building that's like this place is, like I said, everything's so ornate, and all the buildings are much like the last city. All the buildings are kind of interconnected and very organic looking. He walks up to this building, and go ahead and make a perception check.
22.
22.
16.
Okay, so neither of you two notice, but the two of you notice that as he goes to walk up on this porch, he kind of like looks around, and that's when you notice that hanging by the doorway is a plant, and it's got a white flower
Bastard.
off of it, and he says, when he notices you guys aren't following him up the stairs and into like the doorway, he comes back downstairs and he's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, haven't been here in a while, but there's one guy in here that I know. He's pretty cool. He might be able to.
Molly's with us.
Yeah.
We just turn
Can. Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Let's tell him we can.
He's like, okay, and he like looks around. He's like kind of confused, and he's like,
Or maybe we split up.
You can't though. The permit.
Yeah. Did you actually say we could split up?
He implied
Not a good
not to
idea.
go fucking around. Yeah, because
It's
you don't
one
want to be
half of
caught
the group,
without
right?
it. Yeah.
Plus, it was the exact same setup as the last city.
I mean,
so.
Well, couldn't we
do
send?
password
couldn't we-
trace if we wanted?
We could, but couldn't we just send Rook in there? Because I don't know that Rook has
Aruk has had very little interaction with them.
with the White Lotus.
If you're
yeah.
going to send one
Yeah.
of you in, the one that's
Yeah.
had the least amount of interaction is Aruk.
I'm cool
Yeah,
with
I've had almost zero interaction with them.
Okay. Yeah. So you and Zimbabwe go up, and Zimbabwe comes up and he tap 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 tap, and he a few moments later you hear who is it? And he says it's he fucking looks back at you guys, and he's
Say, go ahead.
and he says his old name, and and they're like, who? And he says it again. He's like, come on. And a few moments later, the door opens, and you see a younger elf kind of pop his head out, and he's like, dude, what are you doing here? I thought you left. And he's like, fuck, man. He's like, now I'm back, and I need help. And he's like, fuck, dude, we almost got caught last time we fucking tried to help you. And they're like kind of bickering and arguing. And are you guys just kind of like standing out in the street, or have you guys kind of moved on a little bit to where they don't see you, or?
Oh yeah, I figured we'd keep walking so we'd keep Molly outside.
Yeah, I think we're
Okay,
gonna
yeah.
just kind of keep.
So it's just a
around the
Rook.
block,
It's just a
whatever.
Rook in Zimbabwe then. Rook, yeah, you just see this young elf. He's just arguing with him, and he's like, and he kind of keeps glancing at you like, I hope this guy doesn't fucking try anything because he's big as hell. Then he's like, fuck, fine, all right, come on, get inside. And so you enter, and there's like 3 elves in here, and a couple of half elves,
Okay.
and they're just kind of like doing different things. Some of them are like, there's like, it looks like people maybe could live here, but it looks like it's almost like a home that has been converted into like some kind of like distribution center for something. There's like crates around and shit, and there's like people doing different things, sorting things and all that other kind of shit. And the 2 kids start talking, and he's like, what do you need, man? Like, what on earth could we possibly do for you? And he says, we need to get into the dungeons. And you see this kid just like, oh, fuck, bro. Why are you bringing this shit to me? Aruk, if you want to step in, now might be your chance. And so kind of like looks up.
I guess
Go ahead.
I'm going to look at him and be like, show me the way, or I'll show your head into the wall.
He just like, his eyes go ahead and roll intimidation for me.
I can fucking do that. 27.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah. He rolled really high on insight. He can tell you're fucking serious. And he's like, okay. Look, alright. There's only one way that I know about, and it's fucking sketchy, man. It's really fucking sketchy. You're gonna get us all killed. And he's like, I'll show you if you want, but I'm not fucking going in there. And so he looks at you, Rook, and he's like, you can fucking kill me, man. I'd rather be dead.
I was struggling, like, okay, just show me the way.
He's like, he is definitely, as you've noticed, since that insight check, or this intimidation check, he has been inching further and further away from you with each passing moment since you said that. And he's like, all right, fuck. Look, it's gonna have to be after dark. You have to wait till nightfall, and we're gonna have to try to fucking sneak around somehow. And he's like, he looks at you, and he's like, can you even sneak?
I look at him and I just go, I just smile, and all you just like, and I'm assuming we're in the dark. All you just see is like these like gray like fucking opalescent teeth.
Yeah, he's like, all right, look,
Don't
it's
need
gonna
to
have
sneak
to.
if they're dead.
Yeah, he's like, all right, look, just hang out. You're just gonna have to hang out here until nightfall, or whatever, and then, or if you want to leave, that's fine. And not come back, it's fine too. But if you want, he's like, we're gonna have to do this at nightfall, after dark. And
That's fine.
so,
Okay.
so you guys gonna head out and try to rejoin the party then?
Yeah. And I guess while I do that, I think I might take off my armor. And ask one of whoever can cast Pass Without Trace to pass that on me once nightfall hits and I go back.
Okay.
So yeah, you rejoin with the rest of the party a few blocks down the road, and I fill him in and be like, yeah, I scared the piss out of that little kid.
I'm going to.
And you tell him basically that he's going to show you this way. Is there anything around the city that you guys want to look for, try to do, anything like that, before we just skip forward to nightfall?
I think we need to talk to Zimbabwe and his new friend about keeping Molly on the down low.
Okay.
We're trying to keep her away from White Lotus.
I know, but
He is
we're
White
bringing,
Lotus.
we're bringing him out to come with us. So either we need to take her back, but we definitely need
That guy, I thought that dude wasn't coming with us.
I thought he was saying, is it?
He'll show us the way, but he won't.
Yeah. So he's gonna come back, show us the way. He's gonna come back into the party, right?
He's going to come, like, guide you guys to
Yeah.
this place that he knows where you can try to get into the dungeons.
Yeah.
And we already need to tell Zimbabwe that, like, don't even mention Molly.
You could cast Pass Without Trace on her too before and see if we can get her to sneak like trail.
Yeah.
Keep him from knowing that she's with us.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you can do that. Let me roll some stealth for her. Get a plus 10, 25,
Sir.
15,
Uh-oh.
17, and 24. Looks like. Yeah, 24. Okay. So. So yeah, she's able to just barely manage to go undetected within the party. Luckily, she's not wearing anything that's gonna really give her any disadvantage on being stealthy. Basically, all she has to do is not talk, which is
Or use her cloak.
yeah, or use her cloak, yeah, for sure. But yeah, she's gonna be pretty much unnoticed as you guys make your way through the city. You guys are able to kind of hang out and slink out around wait for nightfall. I'll say at this point, you could probably find maybe behind a building or something like that where you can try to, if you want to try to fuck around with that note. This would be your opportunity to do that while you guys are waiting for nightfall.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself guidance.
Okay.
And you're gonna give me one too. Okay. So I'll get 2d4 plus 5 on my roll.
Sweet. Okay.
So Arcana is a 12 plus 5, 17 plus 4 is 21 plus 22.
22. Yeah, you're able to, I'll say that it's definitely tricky, but you're able to, without altering the sigil itself, the image of it, you're able to make it last for a little bit longer, you think? Because what you do is, as you're kind of digging into it, you figure out basically it after dark, it will fade away and disappear. And then you're just left a piece of paper with no stamp on it and you're fucked. So what you've done is basically allow it to continue till dawn.
Till dawn.
Yeah. you'll have to basically redo it and renew it for
Okay.
12 hours
Okay.
essentially.
That's fine.
So, yeah. So you guys make your way through the city. You guys are walking for quite a while because you're being stealthy. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna need the party to roll. We're gonna do 5 stealth checks. All you guys that passed without trace, you guys have a plus 10 bonus, so we're gonna do 5.
Yeah, I was 23, so
25.
Yeah, you're fine. I don't really. Actually, I'll need you to roll in case you nat 1.
Yeah, I thought that was like
Roll in case you nat 1. 'Cause that's the only way you can. The DC on this is not going to be super massive. I think the DC is going to be. Let's do a DC of 16.
Good. So I got 18.
Yeah, I passed.
Okay.
Lowest was a 16
That means beats.
or 17.
Okay. You did nat 1.
Ooh, what is that?
You're good.
That's a 9. Oh, plus 10.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
get a plus 10.
18.
Yeah, you're good.
Plus 32 looks like.
Okay, cool. So you guys are all able to sneak no problem, but it takes you, because of how slow you have to move and different things of that nature, it takes you probably a couple of hours at least to get through the city. Unfortunately, he just seem to be leading you guys towards the spire directly. After some time, he leads you back through like an alleyway and down to a basement. He pulls a key out of his pocket, unlocks this door, and enters into this like basically like almost like somebody's fucking basement. And there's a fucking big ass like sewer grate almost, where it's kind of like, this is the only access that I know of that you go down in here and it'll lead you straight into the inner workings of
Cool.
he says there's all kinds of shit down there, man, be careful.
Is there anything we need to know before we?
He's like,
Like
I
real
know
shit?
down there, everything I could tell you. Oh, what?
They stay out. Yeah.
I said, like real shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's real shit too. There's literal shit as well as all kinds of different fucked up things down there. I don't even know. I've never been down there. I've only heard stories. So it could all be a bunch of bullshit. It could all be true. I don't know.
What do you know about the guard presence?
I can't imagine seeing any high elves in a sewer, but once you get
I would like to look at him and say, I haven't seen any cows in town.
once you get to the point of where you're gonna get towards the dungeon, they're crawling. They're everywhere. So he says, this is where I part ways with you guys. You're welcome. Don't fucking darken my door again. He's gone. He's like, I'm fucking out of here. You never met me. You don't know me. I don't know you. and he fucking heads out. And you guys are now in this fucking the basement of it's just like a it's probably like some kind of room underneath a shop, kind of. So yeah, you guys can crack this grate open and try to make your way down into the sewers.
I look at everybody and I billow my cloak and I'm like, should we go?
Batman style down into the sewers. All right, yeah. So you guys make your way into the sewers, and they're quite large. They're bougie like everything, and they don't want they don't want tiny little sewers. They want the biggest, the greatest sewers. You know what I mean? And so you guys, they're like fucking 8-9 feet tall, and you guys begin making your way through the sewer system of Kathir, and that's where we're gonna leave it for this session, I think. So you guys are beneath the city of Kathir in the tunnels, and yeah,